Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 105 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. This week, I'm joined by Char.
Bye.
Keo.
Hello, everybody.
And Cameron.
Hello.
As you may have noticed from the title, I don't know who listens or watches podcasts without reading the title or the description. This is our Game of the Year episodes. This will be our final live episode because we're going to take a little bit of time off. We do have some other content that will be coming out over the break, some of which we've recorded, some of which we've yet to do. So look forward to that. But yeah, we figured it's the middle of December. Every game is out, just about. It's time to have a big chat about them, and we've played quite a few of them. So yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna rip off the giant bomb style and basically put a list of 10 together live on the show, and we can kind of see how many fistfights we get into. But yeah, let's. But first, Cameron, you have found some wonderful news for us. Do you want to quickly go through that?
Yeah, we'll quickly smash through the news this week because there was one story that I definitely want to bring up. Going through, Minecraft's getting 4K support on series consoles. The release date has not been confirmed, but is currently in the Xbox Insider Preview build. We got news of the crew being delisted today, and the servers are due to close in March 2024. It's going to be a very hard.
It's rally 2,000 gamers to meet 2,000 people
What a
on the
ridiculous
360
achievement.
version
What
of
a
the game.
ridiculous achievement.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 is getting a free series upgrade, which will add 4K resolution, but has been moved into 2024. Forza Motorsport had a glitch which would allow you to earn millions of credits and bump up your level, but Turn 10 have spotted, removed it, and reverted the profiles back. No further action will be taken against those accounts. Starfield devs are working on city maps and new ways of traveling. Alan Wake 2 got its final draft update, which adds New Game Plus and a nightmare mode that will push your skills to the limit. I'm excited to see what the new story ending is. Falconeer sequel Bulwark from solo dev Thomas Solar, who I met at PAX East. His title is confirmed to coming to PlayStation and Xbox. I'm hoping it's Game Pass.
I was going to say, I hope so. Yeah.
Kojima is working with A24 partners to make a live-action Death Stranding. We don't know who's playing Norman Reedus right now, but I would assume it's going to be Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I was going to say Chris Pratt playing Norman Reedus would be very fucking funny.
Yeah.
I wonder how much Monster Energy is going to be in that movie.
Could you imagine if they could get that dealership? Yeah.
Oh, they'll do it.
Rocket Arena servers will close down on March 21st, discontinuing all the achievements. And the funny news for the week that I found was Sega is holding a real funeral for all the dead Yakuza and Like a Dragon characters in Tokyo. They're teaming up with the department store chain Parco to host an exhibit where players can visit fake gravestones and leave flowers at portraits of the deceased video game characters.
Wow. That's
just the most Japanese thing you could hear, yeah?
That's very Japanese.
Yeah, Japan is they well, you know, we call them activations in the marketing world, right? Yeah. But they get that on lock. They're like, hey, video games. It's like, yeah, we're gonna set up a little cafe thing for this. We're gonna set up a fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure thing and like a fucking like.
Once they get a list of all that stuff, they're going to make a chibi yokai game from all those characters.
Oh my god. Yeah, it'll probably be a gacha game as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
Zombie Yakuza gacha.
Ooh.
I mean, that's more Square Enix's style though, with Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition.
That's very true, actually. Yeah. That's very true. And then I guess sort of related to one of those stories, we had a question from Mr. Cobra Todd, who basically asks, how would you feel if there's a game that was 100% online and you have to be online to play it and you pay for full price only to have it for a few years having a server closure that makes the game basically worthless? And so obviously this is related to what's happening with the crew. I think this is a kind of a big topic for like game preservation and sort of the always online nature of games in general, which I don't feel like we have enough time to kind of talk through at the moment, but I definitely want to revisit this in the new year. So thank you for the question, Todd. We aren't ignoring it, but I definitely want to really get a deep dive into that and actually pull it apart and kind of get some other examples, do a bit of research. So we kind of sound like we know what we're talking about. So stay tuned for that in sometime in the new year. And then there's a few Game Pass updates.
I'll quickly smash through them if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
So pretty much everything that was due to come out this month has already come out. Based on when we're doing the podcast, we don't know what the next batch of games leaving Game Pass is. But just for the games that have joined Game Pass, Remnant from the Ashes, Remnant 2, which me and Matt have been playing a lot of, Spirit of the North, SteamWorld Build, Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, Rise of the Tomb Raider, While the Iron's Hot, World War Z, Aftermath, Goat Sim 3, Against the Storm, Tin Hearts, and I believe Far Cry was added in today.
Today, yeah.
And just after that as well, we'll be running a special episode during the holidays where we break down every Game Pass game that's been added this year and just give you our general thoughts as well.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll figure out how exactly it's going to happen. We're probably going to host it on the Patreon. Maybe have some early access for people who pay for it and get the episode out to everyone else later. We'll figure it out. But come hang out in the Discord if you want to have all the updates of what's happening over that holiday break while we're off air. All right. Well, with all that out of the way, I guess let's get into the list. So, for those who weren't here for the
episode, guys.
Yeah, it's a list that is. Yes, this is fucking.
I said we wouldn't do another.
He's fucking salivating. He's ready for it. So
can we get 12 games and just make it into a calendar?
No.
The 2023 calendar.
I could make this happen.
I'm not. I don't want to see Alan Wake with tits. So
that truly is the dark place.
Yeah, exactly. Hey man, whatever you write becomes reality. Some of that fan fiction gets real fucked up. So in an idea that I basically stolen from Giant Bomb, we are going to go through a list of all the things that we've played this year and kind of have a bit of a yes, no, maybe for each of them. And then once we kind of whittle down the list to the yeses, we'll start putting the yeses up first, and then we'll start fighting over the maybes. And then we'll hopefully by the end of this have a top 10 rank of games. We'll also probably spend a little bit of time talking about the games, as I'm sure a lot of these will be on our personal games of the year. So we can kind of get in deep and kind of explain why we think they should be on this list, etc., etc. I'll start with reading out the list. I mean, I guess we'll just kind of go through it. Alan Wake 2.
Yes.
What do we think? I definitely have opinions on if this should be on the list or not. What do you guys think? Cameron?
Mine's a resounding yes. I still need to finish the game, but from what I've played of it so far and the atmosphere of it, it's going on the list.
For sure.
On my list.
Char? Yep. Okay. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yep. I'll add it. I haven't played it, but I'll add it. I know it.
Yeah. Keo understands how majorities work. He's like, yep, that's
exactly. I think it's worth being there.
We have to.
Okay, so I'm going to put this under the yes category.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'd thought about this sooner, I would have set it up properly. And no. Okay. Amnesia the Bunker.
I haven't played it yet, so I can't really.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Has anyone played Amnesia the Bunker, or is it just me?
Haven't you played the? Yeah, I think you're the only one.
I'm going to put it in the maybe category because it is very, very good, but I want to talk maybe a little bit more about it. So
you have to convince us then.
Yes, yeah. I like. Let me put it this way: I don't think it's going to be in the top 5. It might be if it gets on the list, it'll probably be towards the bottom, probably maybe a 9 or a 10.
Mm-hmm.
Armored Core 6. I'm telling you right now, this is going in the. I'm going to put it in the maybe category.
This is high maybes?
This is a high maybe, because I think that Yeah,
I was surprised to see it win the award at Game... I honestly thought Remnant 2 would be above it, but...
Best action game?
Yeah.
I mean, Armored Core is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
FromSoft definitely knocked it out of the park again. I'd love to talk more about it, so we'll see if I can convince you guys to put it on there somewhere. Cool. Beautiful Sakura Surfing Club. A lot of us seem to have played this.
This is the best 1 minute completion of the year. Best AI generated game of the year.
This is my second best 1 minute completion this year.
No, is this the AI one?
This is the trash one. That's just like the game that plays itself. Okay, I'm putting this in the no category. I'm just like, jokes aside, that I don't think the game has a huge amount of artistic merit, considering that I don't think any of us could tell you what happened in that game.
No.
Besiege, which I think technically got its 1.0 release this year.
Yeah, back in like Feb, right?
Yeah, it was early this year. I think it was like Jan or Feb.
I'm leaning towards no, only because of the state of the achievements that launch. Like the 1.0 was broken for Windows. Like it's an enjoyable sandbox kind of game, like sandbox puzzler. You can kind of fit into like both, right?
It's like a physics puzzler kind of thing. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say this would be in the no category.
Yeah, I would agree. Anyone desperately want to see it on the list somewhere?
No, I don't know. I don't actually know what it is.
Easy.
So
that makes it very easy then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bramble, the Mountain King.
Bramble's
I reckon this would be pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I would put in the maybe from what I played of it.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good indie game.
It is a good indie game. I think maybe is probably where it would. Yeah, I'm probably leaning towards that as well. Yeah. We're gonna have a lot of maybes, so I'm gonna tell you right now. Cocoon.
Yes.
I think this goes in the no.
Resounding yes.
Yeah. I'm on the yes train for this one. It's got to be in there somewhere, I think.
I would say low yeses.
All right, that's fine. You can have your opinion.
It's a good game. I just think there's better games this year.
Yeah. All right. So when you brought this game up, you thought it was a what kind of game?
Puzzle.
A Metroidvania? No, okay, yeah.
Metroidvania.
Like, do you even know what a Metroidvania is? Do you know what Metroid is?
Do you know what Castlevania is? Not the TV show.
I played Castlevania. I haven't played Metroid.
On Netflix.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Coffee Talk 2, which I think all of us played. Did all of us play
I didn't play that one, actually. Mm.
That one is a big yes for me.
Okay. Yep. What do you think, Cameron?
I'm in two minds. I'm more so leaning towards yes because it is an enjoyable game, but I think it has that sequel fatigue.
It is.
Whereas
it is the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is the same game, but it's still it's still good.
Oh, it is good. It is really good.
Yeah, it's still a very enjoyable game. I know personally for me when I'm thinking Game of the Year list, I like the needle being moved forward, if that makes sense.
So does that make it hot coffee, warm milk, or milk toast?
I think we're going with.
Are you listing GTA San Andreas mods?
I think we're going spicy chai on this one.
Well.
All right, I'm going to put this in the maybes for now, but I definitely feel like it's going to be. Yeah, we definitely need to have a discussion about it. Dead Space, the remake.
No responses from anyone.
I haven't played much of it, but I think yes as well.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. It is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Game of the Year material.
Is that because it's a remake?
That is part of it.
Okay.
That is part of it. It is the same. Like it is the same game. I'll put it in yes for now because we have slots for it.
Yeah, and I think that will quickly drop out when another remake kind of comes up in a conversation.
There is a distinct possibility.
So I think it actually needs to be in the yes to replace it with this other game.
Sure.
So
okay, yeah, that's understandable.
Yes, until further notice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it can sit there for a bit. Door Done. Did any of you guys play this?
No. I started, but I'd put in.
Yeah, no. This is going in the no category. I love the art. Everything else about that game is frustrating and annoying. Dredge. We can put that in the no category. It's just fishing. You don't need to play that.
You can get stuffed.
Okay,
Dredge is going in the yes category.
Fishing game.
It's just fucking fishing.
It's the fact though that a fishing game could be good. I mean,
actually, that is
that's a valid point.
I mean, the bar isn't very high for fishing games with Xbox because
the question I have is why did you use the word could?
You could. All right, I'm gonna put this in yes for now because otherwise Cameron will leave the show. but I definitely this one's definitely going to be I think towards the bottom as well. We definitely want to have a debate about that.
Okay.
God damn it, Trello, why is your fucking formatting insistent? Probably my fault. Okay, Eastern Exorcist. I played that this week. This does not need to be on the list. That can go in the no category. I don't think any of you guys have played it, and I don't think you've missed much by not playing it. Everspace 2. This is going in the... I want to put it in the yes category, but I know I'm the only one of us who've really gotten into it.
I just feel like it's too much of an Aptos opinion. That's why it goes in the maybe.
Yeah.
All right, but because Aptos liked the game, we're going to put it in maybe for now.
Easy one here.
That's
It's fine.
He's not going to fucking listen to this. Fist, Forged and Shadow Torch. Did anyone else play this?
No,
Nope.
but from your comments, you really enjoyed it.
I did really enjoy it. Like, so this is a really good Metroidvania. It actually kind of, yes, it is pretty fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in the maybe category. I think it's going to be a low maybe because I think I think it's a really good game, but it's coming out in a year where there's a bunch of really fucking good games.
We should approach a few of these like with the opinion of like, do we see one of the other co-hosts playing this game and really enjoying it?
That's a good point. Yeah, I think once we get to the maybe categories, we should maybe. I want to get into these games a little bit of the ones that are worth talking about.
I think it's definitely key to like point it out as a pitch to other hosts to actually play it. Like,
definitely,
maybe a challenge to maybe touch one of those other games.
Definitely. Figment 2, Creed Valley.
I would lean on no. Like, yeah.
This is not a game of the year
doesn't
contender.
appeal to me.
It was a cute little kind of, it had a sense of humor and it was interesting. But I also finished it the day it came to Game Pass. Yeah. So, yeah. Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective.
As much as you really enjoy this game, I think it suffers in this is a game. This is essentially a remake. Is it a remake or is it just
it's a remake? It's a remake and a port.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What qualities make it into a remake? Like, what have they added?
Yeah, they've redone the visuals and but
okay. To me, the question is it a remake that like the original Dead Space going to the Dead Space remake, or Resident Evil to the Resident Evil?
I think it's kind of in that. I think it's more in the Dead Space kind of thing where they've updated the visuals and obviously ported it from a platform with a touchscreen and everything. I'm putting it in the maybe category because I just want to talk about it. It is but I don't know if it'll hit my. There are. The only reason it wouldn't be on my game of the year is for not reasons about the game, but because of the fact that it's a port and a remake and that it's not an original thing.
My mentality on it is if it leans towards more of a port, then I don't think it deserves to be on a game of the year list. If it leans more towards
I think like if we had a spot for it in number 10, I would be very happy. But I can totally understand it not being on the list. Ghostwire Tokyo. Did any of you guys play this?
No, I really wanted to, but no.
Yeah, it didn't fall in time with me.
I think I feel bad, but I'm gonna put it in a no. It's not.
Are you leaning towards no because of the open world aspect of it, or are you it's an okay game. I mean, I'll talk about it now because I don't think we're going to come back to it. But basically, Ghostwire Tokyo very much has the Far Cry syndrome of like it's Far Cry with ghosts in that way that it's like there are a shitload of things to do on a map. The combat is not like the combat's bad. Like that's the biggest problem with the game. The combat is not very good. The main story is okay, but it just drags on forever. And the game does not change at all, like from minute 1 to minute 50 to all the way through to the end, to like the final boss. Like there's very, very little change in terms of how the game works, mechanics, weapons, abilities. Like you do gain a few things here and there, and there's an upgrade tree, but a lot of it is collectible based. And it just kind of feels like busy work and just kind of not that interesting to play, which is a real shame. Like it is like a very much a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10 game. Like the kind of thing where if it wasn't on Game Pass, I probably wouldn't have played it. It's interesting because like Ghostwire Tokyo obviously came out last year with PlayStation and we obviously had the port this year. Avatar has been getting a lot of comparisons to Far Cry, but like 7, 8's like positive comments of this kind of system works with this game. Like it's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's like refreshing take on the formula.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of elevation and stuff like that.
And I think that kind of like, that first person having more of a
Mm.
free running aspect and a bit more verticality and kind of like the actual playing of the game is fun.
Mm.
So like Ghostwire has you eventually get an ability to essentially like zip line up to tops of buildings using basically like a Spidey kind of like anyway. It's like a hook shot thing. And like once that opens up and you get the kind of glide ability, you can kind of the maneuvering around stuff gets a lot more interesting. But
Yep.
it takes quite a bit to get to that stage. And I feel really bad because there are a lot of really cool elements of like I like the kind of the yokai kind of spooky ghosts, the Shinto stuff, all the kind of like Japanese Eastern religion like spirits and that kind of stuff that you don't often see in this kind of game. I mean, obviously, you see kind of spirits and a lot of this kind of stuff in terms of like, in JRPGs and Japanese games in general, but coming from like Tango Gameworks, and like the city itself is beautiful. Like the way they've built, inner city Tokyo is incredible. It looks great. The rain is amazing. I wish it was fun to play. It just isn't, unfortunately, because like a lot of the game is combat, and the combat's bad, and that's kind of the biggest problem with it. Is it like there isn't a lot of reason to fight enemies, and it just doesn't feel good to do. It also doesn't help. You only have like 3 weapons in the entire game. Hogwarts Legacy. So this is an interesting one. What are we thinking? I played it. I finished it.
It's one of the only ones that I have played this year that has been released this year. I've only played 6 games that were released this year.
Fair. I mean, to be fair, you got a big history of games to go back to, so that's totally understandable.
It's also been one heck of a year, so
Also true.
I don't know how anyone else feels about it, but I really enjoyed it. I know it was like the quests and mini quests were like quite repeatable, but I quite enjoyed the running around Hogwarts and just doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do, and like the open world aspect of it, and the fact that it was actually super fucking pretty. Like it just looks beautiful.
My question to both of you is was it a game that you could not put down? Like, how was the like? Explain to me the gameplay. Like, what was it like? Hooking to you, kind of. I need to keep playing.
Well,
this
okay,
kind of
so
game,
like, I get hooked on very few games. I did on this one mainly because there is a lot of like. For the same reason I'm hooked on Baldur's Gate, is that I have a bit more free reign of being able to choose what I do and when I do it. And like at one point I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna run around this entire fucking map and unlock every single flue that I can because I could. Because it was fully open world and I could just run around this ginormous map unlocking all of the areas that I needed to. I didn't need to do it at that point in the game. I would have done it eventually because all of the side quests mean that you do go everywhere, but it meant that I could go and just fuck around for a while. So I spent like 8 hours just running around unlocking flues. Like there's just a lot of like random shit that you can do. I think that's why I enjoyed it.
I think if you get to that point, like that's why I enjoy the Forza kind of games. Yeah, like I'll just get to a point where I'm just like, all right, cool. I'll have a podcast or I'll have some music on, and I'll just go around and like unlock every single road. Like games that have that kind of like, I mean, collectible or like like list kind of thing.
It's like a checklist kind of thing, basically.
Like that's what I enjoy. So I think Hogwarts Legacy definitely deserves.
Yeah, I think we'll put it on the yes.
It's a yes for me.
Yeah, I think we'll put it on the yes at least for now. I think it definitely has a lot of merit.
It can potentially get kicked out, but
we'll see. We'll see. I don't like again. I think there are definitely games that are better than it this year, but I definitely feel like there are. I played a lot of it. I really enjoyed quite a lot of it. I have some problems with it, but I think that. Yeah, I also don't want it to get forgotten because it's one of those things that it came out early in the year, and those games classically don't really end up on lists like these because people think there's that sort of recency bias. So I definitely want to have a bit of a discussion about it, but we'll put it in the yes for now. I think it
is also one of the best-selling games of this year.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, it's selling better than Modern Warfare 3 apparently.
Yeah.
Jusant. I'm guessing I'm the only one who played this.
You're the only.
So
I
far,
played through over the holidays, but yeah.
yeah, I'm going to put this in the no category, but Jason, I think I think everyone should give this a go. It's a relatively short game. It's a nice chill experience. You can get it done in like an afternoon or so. It's like maybe like 5-6 hours. Yeah, it's just like kind of it was nice. It wasn't amazing. I kind of wish there was maybe a little bit more to it. It's maybe just a little bit too simplistic. Yeah, like I'm not going to say walking sim, right? Because it's not like a pure climbing sim with nothing to do and you're just kind of holding forward and just looking at the environment. Like it's a very beautiful game, but there is a little bit of strategy, there is a little bit of puzzle solving. It's quite light. But it's more about the experience, just kind of like seeing the environments as you go through and rediscovering this world. But I don't think it makes it on this list, unfortunately. Lies of P.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm down for this one. 100%
Okay.
needs to be there. So
Yep. I think I'm in the same camp. I definitely think it should be on the list somewhere, at least for now. Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about Lies of P. I think we'll talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, okay. I think unless anyone is desperately against it being on the list somewhere.
yeah, I'll fight for it later. So
I mean, I'm more so on the maybe, but I want to go down further in the list to explain why.
Sure. Yep. No, that's totally fair.
But yeah, if you want to put in yes for now, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on in yes. Marquette. No.
I don't know
You're
this
the only
one.
one who played it, yeah?
I played it. No.
No, I don't think so either. I think actually,
It's not.
I think it's kind of shit, to be honest.
Irritating.
Yeah.
It's really annoying, and I'm going to go back and finish it, and I really don't want to.
Yeah, I did not.
Port, right?
It wasn't a great port, but it's also just not a great game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think puzzle wise, it's just not like there were so many other
putting
better
time frames on solving each individual level that fucks me off.
The speed run achievements also do not help.
No.
Minecraft Legends.
I've played a little bit of it.
I think this is a fine game. I don't think it's a game of the year contender. Unfortunately for Microsoft, I don't think that I think that I had a fun time playing through this with Aftos, and we just recently went back and did the DLC for this week, but there is not
I think the only good thing to come from this game is they stopped doing Minecraft Dungeons achievements.
fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I wonder with these kind of games though, how much of it falls into I enjoyed this because I was playing it with a friend versus this is a good game.
Oh, for sure. If I was playing this by myself and the fact that it was on Game Pass, it was an easy, just I'm not a Minecraft guy by any means. I didn't play Dungeons. I don't really Minecraft with objectives is kind of was okay, interesting maybe, but. Yeah, I think Legends is it's like a 7 out of 10 kind of game. I think it's fine, but I don't think it I think we've the yes list is already looking so much stronger than all of this that I think this goes in the no, unfortunately. But I would recommend people give it a go. I think if you have any kind of love for RTS, it reminds me a lot of Brutal Legend with that kind of Brutal Legend or Overlord, where it's a kind of again you're controlling minions or someone on the battlefield. The art style again is that classic if you have any kind of love for that Minecraft style, it's very much like that. The game is also maybe just a little bit too simplistic, but with the latest update, I will say they've added custom modes so you can change all kinds of options and make your own kind of custom campaign, which has been really fun. So if you just want to make a campaign where you're just invincible and just kind of have a nice easy time just steamrolling enemies, you can 100% do that. So it definitely makes it a lot more accessible if you just kind of want to have that experience. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, the Prince Edition. Unfortunately, I'm going to put that in the no category. Really cool game, but it is a port of a much older game.
A game that people they didn't even appreciate. It just didn't have the Studio Ghibli vibe that the first one had. That people just didn't know.
I mean, consider Ghibli didn't work on this one, so maybe it kind of makes sense. I kind of over time I kind of enjoyed the action combat style a bit more than the original game. This game is a lot. This game is more. Tales of Vesperia versus your kind of Pokemon style of the first game. But it also really fucking drags.
I think It'd be appreciated more if, say, they made a third game and it was in a different style again.
Yeah,
Then
for
it'd be
sure.
like everything's kind of different and it has its place. But yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I did really enjoy it, and I'm glad it came to Game Pass and I got to give it a go. But yeah, I think kind of in that same category, we've got Persona 3 Portable and Persona 4 Golden. So ports, I'm assuming I'm the only one who played them.
Yeah, so far.
I can't put them in Game of the Year for this, unfortunately. They are like three. To be honest, I didn't like 3 at all. I know I'm interested in the remake. 4 is a fucking fantastic game. Better in some ways than the 5th game. Obviously not, 5th game is well crafted and styled and all that kind of stuff, where 4 is obviously a bit, it's a PlayStation 2 game, so we're coming from a long way away. But I kind of, in some ways, prefer the characters and the story of the 4th game quite a bit. Highly, highly recommend it. It will be in Game Pass pretty soon, I think.
I'd say so, yeah. And I'm assuming like as soon as the remake of 3 comes through, then that will probably go as well. So it wouldn't be too, be there for much longer.
Yeah, I think January, I think is when January or February, right?
It is basically the bones of the mainline series now, 4. So it's just...
Planet of Lana.
Another speedrun game.
True. Well, or a no death game at least.
Oh yeah, at least that.
Who else played this? I did. I ran through it.
Played like a few chapters. I think this is one of those games that falls into this is a good game, but not good enough to fit in the great games of this year.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
Because even when it released, people were just like, "Yeah, this is easily like an indie game of the year contender."
True. Yeah, they were. Yeah, I mean, like it is. It's kind of that take on that Limbo style side-scrolling heart tug kind of.
Funny enough, made everyone go back and play Limbo.
True. I mean, fuck. I did actually. That's a fair point.
Yeah, and you guys talking about it made me go back to do Limbo as well. So that and it came back into Game Pass. So
sure, that helps. But yeah, I think unfortunately, like Planet of Lana, this will probably we probably won't talk too much more about it. But yeah, side scrolling, definitely recommend it. You can kind of cheese the no death achievement, so definitely check that out with some of the chapter select stuff. Really, I think maybe just a little bit too long for this kind of game. But I still really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. It does that classic thing of like telling a story with no words and just kind of through pictures and also the relationship you develop with your little buddy is very, very cute. In that classic kind of child and their pet go on an adventure kind of thing. Quake 2, yeah, I'm putting that in the no category. I mean, that is a port. It's cool that they ported it, but I don't think there's much there. Ravenlock. So I think this is another one that I think all of us have played.
I definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah.
In one sitting. Yeah.
It was this year again.
That's what everyone was saying about Hogwarts. Was that this year?
Yeah.
It's one of those games where it's just like it's really good to play, but it's easily forgettable.
But also with Hogwarts, it came out last year for everyone else. It came out this year for us.
No, Hogwarts came out this year.
It came out Jan this year, right?
Jan or February.
Yeah. The Switch release of Hogwarts came out at the end of the year, which makes it confusing for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, that's what. Yeah.
See, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but Ravenlock was definitely a release this year. It was the 2 games that had lock in the title that I was interested in playing. I can't even remember what the other one was. It's like they both have lock in the title. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'll remember them eventually.
I mean, I really liked Ravenlock.
Yeah.
I forgot that it was this year.
Yeah, I quickly put it out of my mind too. I had something traumatic happen over that weekend and just kind of left it alone. Like after I finished it. So.
I think Ravenlock, it's due to the length as well. Like it is such a bite-sized.
Yeah, which I think works to its benefit.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways, I think that that game is quite simple for the most part. Like there isn't a huge amount to it, which is fine. Like I don't. There doesn't need to be.
But I put it up against like Planet of Lana, like a really good game. But it's just there's so many great games that came out this year that like any other year, like. I'll be honest, the COVID years, we've had like barely anything come out and the indies have really shown. if we didn't have like the stuff coming out like Resident Evil 4 and Dead Space and
Yeah.
I don't know, every other big AAA title, I think this would easily be.
I might put it in the maybe category just for
Yeah,
now.
it's a maybe for me.
Yeah, I think we'll kind of maybe see where we end up with it.
Yeah, I think so.
Remnant 2. Fuck, this is a really hard one.
I want to. Okay, the only thing that I'm not enjoying about Remnant 2 at the moment is the fact that the multiplayer, like getting into the matches, is kind of balked.
Yeah.
And then just like as much as I love the look of the level design, I am not enjoying how big it is compared to the first one.
Yeah, I'll put as high maybe, but actually, I'm gonna put it on the game of the year. I'm gonna put it on yes.
Low yes.
I'm gonna put it low yes. I think we want to talk more about it.
I think the bosses in itself make it a game of the year contender.
I think it is Resident Evil 4. I'm just gonna put in yes because
100%. Yeah,
Cool.
Should be.
Yeah.
Sea of Stars.
I never played this. Yeah.
Am I the only one who played it?
Yeah.
It's on my list of to play.
It's tragic that no one else on the podcast has played it, and everyone really should play it, and even myself. But
it's tragic that everybody on this podcast needs sleep. Other than that.
Yeah, true. This is true. Yeah. I have a real sickness. I'm just gonna put this in maybe because I want to talk more about it because I feel like talking about recommendations. This is something that people should be checking
definitely.
out. Slayers X Terminal Aftermath. Sorry, Slayers X : Terminal Aftermath : Vengeance of the Slayer.
If you got two colons in it, then you're not
game of the year, obviously. Come on, this is like number one. Alex, Mr. Professor Pluto said that this is probably his top three. At number 3. He said it was a pretty stark drop off from 1 and 2 down to 3. But it is on his list. But I don't know. It's definitely not game of the year. I mean, this is literally a meme game. Literally a meme game is an achievement for blowing up all the toilets. So yeah, no, I cannot in good conscience.
Oh, was that game? I remember. I think I was in a chat when all that was going on.
Yeah, so
we're talking about the toilets.
Yeah, it's like it is a standard boomer shooter, but it's boomer shooter based on one of the characters from Hypnospace Outlaw, Zane, and his game his self-insert fan fiction game that he made about him being the coolest '90s dude in the world. It's real fucking stupid, but it is funny. It is funny, and it is very of its time. It reminds me a lot of Redneck Rampage or kind of Duke Nukem style first-person thing where it's just ridiculous enemies, ridiculous weapons, really shitty jokes, and all that kind of stuff. But no, it's a fucking bad game. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I feel like I have to put this in yes for now.
Yeah.
I am very worried it might not stay in yes. It is a fantastic game. I think it takes just about everything from the first game and improves on it, and I want to gush more about it. But this is a stacked fucking year.
And the other thing against it too is the state that it launched in.
And yeah, you're right. Yeah, performance-wise was not good. And yeah. Oh, speaking of charged ones, Starfield. Oh, I feel like a criminal, but no, I don't think this. I don't.
No.
You know what?
I didn't play it
too,
much.
I do think they'll get to a point where, similar to I'm not comparing it to Redfall in terms of quality.
Sure.
But just improving a game over time.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I think Starfield in a year's time is going to be a completely different story. It's going to be a great game, but as it stands now at launch, this is what I'm assessing these games off. How they launch. Did I enjoy them? Starfield, I really did enjoy the story for it, but then past that, it was these side quests and that didn't have enough substance for me.
I highly recommend everyone go and check out our Starfield episode that will be coming out over the holiday break. We did a bit of a spoiler cast and a deep dive into what we thought about the game. And I think we kind of had no spoilers, but we came across a bit of a consensus around kind of where that game sits. So I am going to put it in the maybe category because it feels, I don't think I could put it in the no. Like I feel like that's, but yeah,
I mean, I can.
I don't think it's going to move up into the top 10. I will tell you right now. Stray.
Not for this year. For last
No,
year,
I
yeah,
don't.
sure, but like not for this year.
It's just support, right? There's nothing new about it.
Yeah,
all,
true, but it is the
It's
first
just
time
a
that
port.
that many of us got to
Yeah,
play it,
yeah.
myself included.
Yeah.
I really like the game. I was quite down on it being included in the game of the year list for Game Awards last
Resounding
year.
no, because it didn't go into Game Pass like everyone
Yeah,
thought it was
exactly.
going
True.
to.
Yeah. Fucking Annapurna, what are they doing? But David's like, not for this year or last year. That's kind of the boat I'm on as well. Last year wasn't that bad.
Might make a great movie though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was the hopeful cyberpunk or whatever the fuck they were calling it. Yeah, no, this is no. I think it's a fine game, but no, I don't think it goes. Superland 6 inches under. Yeah, no, I'm good. I think that's a no. I had a fun afternoon playing through that game.
Yeah.
But Last Case of Benedict Fox, no.
It will probably be the last case of Benedict Fox.
I'm so upset about I understand
I wish
why.
it had better performance.
Yeah,
Like
it's 100% performance. Like the game, like the atmosphere, the game itself, in terms of like story and all that, I loved. But just you can't excuse teleporting back to a manor and then having pop in over the space of like 30 to 40 seconds.
Yeah.
The game should not launch in that state.
Yeah. All those reasons I didn't play it for. So.
Yeah, like Matt was the one that saw the video that I shared with him because I was like, something's wrong with this game, and I can't explain it other than saying that it is so fucking slow. And I showed Matt the video, and he's like, "That's not right. No, that's not right at all." Like it was playing like it was on like 5 frames a second.
Yeah, it was insane.
It was not right, and like the only way we fixed it was actually uninstalling it and reinstalling the whole entire game. Like that's stupid.
I also have some serious issues with the voice acting and the direction and the story. I feel like it. I
enjoyed it for what it was.
I love the concept, but I think everything about this game is bad. Like I was like so disappointed. Like I was expecting a very like tight Metroid, like side-scrolling Metroidvania corridor kind of game with some puzzles in it, rather than this kind of more open-worldy, really floaty, poorly
Not
optimized.
having a clue where the fuck you're going next.
Yeah, very badly signposted and quite badly written, to be honest. Unfortunately, that was a real shame.
It was a great concept.
I honestly thought like where they left it, they were going to do DLC, and I'm guessing they just abandoned it just to fix the game. But I don't know. I kind of got that feel at the ending, but
yeah.
Oh no, there's issues like 13 minutes.
Yeah.
This 100% falls into like one of those lists though that this is a game I would recommend people play once it's fixed.
Maybe, but I think it's like I don't know if it's going to get fixed. It's more like
I mean they've been working on. I've worked with their PR person at one point. Like they've been working on it ever since it's come out.
Yeah, so I'll be interested to see kind of what state it maybe ends up in, but I would not recommend it right now under any circumstances. Toem. I don't know if anyone else played this.
I played like an hour of it. Yeah.
It's fun. It's a nice little kind of like I like the kind of isometric cube thing that they kind of have going on around, like you kind of wandering around and taking photos of things. It's a nice little afternoon game in black and white. Yeah, I would recommend it. I don't think it's game of the year by any means, but it's on Game Pass. Definitely check it out. It's a really cute, nice experience. Vemba, I think, also kind of falls into that category. I don't think it's game of the year, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Vemba for me was like close to the top 10. But like, yeah, it just fell out.
I mean, I can put it in a maybe if you want to argue for it.
The problem with it, it's just too short. Like it is good.
There's not a lot of game there, unfortunately, too, which kind of.
The problem is too. There's not a lot of game for an achievement hunter, because we would go in with a guide.
Even so, like
it's still a short game.
It's a short game. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it kind of sits in the same category a little bit as Lies of P in terms of you have to dig your heels in and experience, like, I guess, the ending to kind of get the most out of it. Like, there's some stuff in that game that you it doesn't have a punch until you dig deep into what it's about. So
I mean, I can still remember sitting down playing Vember and like thinking after, like, damn, this game is made. Like, when was the last time you played a game and it made you physically hungry because of how well?
Every episode of this show, when you talk about fucking every time we play Remnant, you talk about KFC, and I just start getting hungry. So,
no, like that. I couldn't think of another game that kind of invoked that kind of, like, you know, emotions and that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah. It's actually true. I did a KFC last night because of that. Okay, I think I'm going to.
Allison's being punished. Is that what?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to put it a maybe for now, and we can talk a little bit more about it if you'd like. But I don't think it's going to be on the list.
I would say maybe, but yeah, I don't think it'll be on the list.
We Were Here Forever. I don't know if anyone else plays this. I love the We Were Here series. I would like if you want a co-op experience, this is peak co-op experience. Like, they don't make them better than this. But it's not. I don't think it's game of the year material. Wolong, Fallen Dynasty.
All right, here comes my controversial opinion. I rank Wolong higher than Liza P.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, I guess that's going in the maybe category. We're gonna have a fight about that. Holy shit. I'll put it at the top of the maybe category so you get right into it.
Wolong, I honestly like really enjoyed. I guess it also has the added benefit of it has had 2 DLC packs come out.
Third one just released. Yep.
Third one just released, and we're planning to do it this weekend. Whereas then Liza P obviously has that content coming out, but we haven't seen it yet. You know, it could be the same case as Dead Island 2. It could be a great game with very terrible DLC that tanks the experience of that game. But
okay, we'll get into it. Okay, I definitely want to.
I feel like this is going to be 2 against 1, but
this could be rough, but we'll see. Forza Motorsport.
No.
Oh, wow.
We do not condone launching AAA games in broken pieces of
amazing. That's a resounding shot for Microsoft there, unfortunately.
I shouldn't be so harsh, but man, this game has been in development since what, 2016, 2017?
A little bit like that, yeah.
I didn't expect much other than the game just being in a good state at launch.
Sure.
And it wasn't even that.
Yeah.
For accessibility. I will give it that.
Yeah, for accessibility, yeah. But like David said,
the game plays itself. It really does.
It's a great technical showcase.
Yes.
Sure. It'll look great on a Sony TV, right? But
those wheels were like so shiny. If I could get them to turn though in a multiplayer match, that would be great. Anyway.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah.
So now people may notice we're kind of gotten out of the games that I've played, so I probably will not be talking much about any of these, but I'd be very curious to get the opinions of the rest of the group. I started with my list just because I figured I had the most. Exoprimal.
Fuck you, Ireland, if you're listening, for making me start this shit. It's a no.
So that's probably a no from Cameron.
I played it as well, and like I would have liked to have gone back to it a little bit more, but it was very repetitive. So
we can still get a group together.
I feel like they had something there. Like it was.
There was definitely something there. Yeah.
But even just going back to like Skill Up's review, like there's like raid parts of the game that are great, but then everything else is just repetitive. Like this game could have been something like a worthy game of the year contender based on the gameplay, but because they followed that very boring, repetitive structure, it just fell into nothing. But,
no, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go in the no category. Okay. Okay. Redfall.
I
Yes,
played a lot of
hours
of this. I played a lot of hours of this game, and I rate it above Forza Motorsport.
Okay.
For another resounding blow.
To be fair, that's quite a limbo low bar that you've set.
Yes, it is.
That.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you want content to be like the the things that they put into this world, in the actual world, in the art style of the buildings and everything like that. The amount of talk about this game, like everything in the buildings creates a story, but there's nothing else in it. There's nothing in it. So it's definitely no. It's definitely a no, but it's just like it is another missed potential, like 100%. So
got it.
Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it. They do seem dedicated to improving it.
They do, and yeah. So
maybe Matt and I will play this next year.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's on my play later list on.
It's like
on
I've gone
wanted to
back.
play it.
Yeah, it's the kind of game that I've actually gone back with multiple people and played it. That's got something to say for it. Like it could, I'm happy to jump in and help a couple of people play the game.
Yeah,
that's something.
They have been improving it. They're like points out, 60 FPS, and I think they brought an update out maybe a month or two ago. So I'm interested to see where it ends up.
They have like random encounters or something like that now as well, like with a couple of enemy types. I've not seen it. I've not loaded up since then, but improving it.
And I know Shane somewhat enjoyed it, just despite its issues. But I don't think it's game of the year material.
Somewhat enjoyed it. He only named that as his only game of the year.
Yeah,
somewhat enjoyed it.
I mean, sure. To be fair, that's on him.
Yeah, I had Metro 2033 Japanese.
He prefaced it with, "I only played X amount of games, and this is the best one of those."
Yeah.
So it was 2 games or something. He said.
Yeah, pretty much. Can the vampires get around parked cars? I don't think we'll ever find out, David. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle Special Edition.
I think I was the only one that actually played this, and I played it on PlayStation and loaded it up pretty much as soon as it was announced and dropped. It is really great, but it just has that like fighting. It falls into the traps of all of those particular anime fighting games.
Being way too fucking hard to play. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, and like the multiplayer is fine, and it's got a cool multiplayer lobbies and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely not Game of the Year. So
no, fair enough. Okay, GoldenEye. I mean, this is going in the no category. It's a fucking ancient game. They just ported it. I mean,
I really, really enjoyed this, but yeah, I can understand it going in the no. It is.
But when the Switch has online multiplayer,
yes, this is going in the no because we didn't get online multiplayer, and that's the only reason.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it at the end of maybe just because I feel bad.
I honestly did really enjoy it, but that's being held up by nostalgia.
It might push Wolong out.
Actually, now that you mention it, maybe we can find some extra room.
The maybe category is out of spite. Things go into the maybe category to knock other games out. So.
Exactly, yeah. The Finals, which just came out.
I think I'm probably the only one who's been playing this. It's really enjoyable, but the fact that we don't have Oceanic servers yet. So apparently the problem is it's UI telling us that we're playing in Europe, but we're actually playing in Oceanic.
Yeah, gotcha.
But the servers are absolutely terrible. Like I believe I'm playing on European servers.
Got it. Okay. Well.
It's a cool idea though, and I mean, I've played this game a few times now. I'm just like they could the whole premise of it. Essentially, you're doing like this futuristic, like Battlefield kind of tournament.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a marketer's dream. Yeah, you get a free to play game that you could easily insert. Like advertising and all that into per match, and just get people to buy ad space in the game.
True. Yeah, and then get
I'm like, why haven't they done this? But anyway,
Fortnite with every single character that they've added.
Yeah, like 100%. They need to do the Fortnite model. And
I can see that.
Rake it in, but
Roller Drone.
This one's gonna hurt. It's honest. You know the feeling you get from like the sense of nostalgia you get from like, playing Tony Hawk, those kind of games.
Sort of. I mean, I was always shit at those games, but I do. Yeah, absolutely. I used to have. I think it was just called skateboarding on the original PlayStation 1. Like, can you imagine skateboarding? It's like you bought a game called Gunman. Like,
yeah. I mean, isn't that like the first kind of games that came out though?
Kind of.
Had those kind of names.
Table tennis. Yeah, it's a fair point.
Is it a multiplayer game?
No, Roller Drome is It has a tight narrative, but it's essentially like how you did the old Tony Hawk's Skate kind of games.
Yeah.
Like you collect 5 tokens, which is very similar to Skate. You keep a combo going. Like it is 100%. What if we took Tony Hawk and repackaged it with guns?
Gotcha. I mean, to be fair, that does sound like a great sales pitch.
It is it is solid in its gameplay. It's an indie title, but I believe it had like a staff of 40.
Oh, okay, right.
It's really solid. It's just like it's 100% like any other year. This would be a very strong contender, but like there's games that I've enjoyed more, whether it be from like the social aspect of like playing with a friend, like Remnant or that kind of stuff that kind of just push it out.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally fair. I mean, like that sounds like a pretty good recommendation, though. I think this is something we should maybe.
I definitely recommend Roller Drone for anybody in Game Pass. It does have some very skill-based achievements. I'm down to the last 4, but it's like get a combo of like 3 million, and I've topped off at like 2.2 or something.
Okay, all right. All right. I will put that in no, unfortunately, for now. But I like that recommendation. Barton Lynch Pro Surfing. I mean, we did a whole episode about this.
It's gonna have to be the no category.
I think it's gonna be no.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name.
I honestly will lean towards yes. This was in my top 10.
Okay.
The reason for it is 100% what you would want in a Yakuza game, and it is accessible enough that people that, you know, especially achievement hunter community, we don't want to put 200 hours into these kind of games, but if we get like a 20-hour piece with a tight narrative, still enjoyable, if you wanted an entry point into the series, this would be 100% the game to start with.
It explains a lot about the connections between them. It's pretty obvious with the connections, isn't it? It's like, so you can actually play this game. Is this the one that they did that with?
It's after 6. It leads into Like a Dragon, but then it also leads into Infinite Wealth coming out in Feb. And I think
so it will give you an idea, I think, about the linking of all of the games.
I mean, David says he loves it and he cried at the end. So I think maybe this is on the list. I don't know. This sounds pretty. I put it in the yes category.
If it made David cry, surely
it's a really good game.
I need one again. I have such a huge fucking list of stuff I've downloaded, but it is on my holiday list.
Actually, you know how I can recommend it? I completed it in 1 weekend.
That is incredible. The fact that you completed it just in general was enough of a recommendation for me to go, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. I had so much fun with it.
Speaking of things you completed, RoboQuest.
I want to say yes to this one as well, just because of this. You know how I gushed so much about Gunfire Reborn last year?
Oh, Gunfire Reborn, yeah.
Yep. This was 100% this with with the verticality.
Right. Okay. Yep.
And just very enjoyable. Fact that it's co-op. It gets difficult at the end, but really did enjoy it. Definitely one of those roguelites that I recommend, especially being Game Pass.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll put it in the yes for now. Our camera's still good, by the way. You want to?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We should be good.
Sorry. Yeah. Let me just do an admin. Okay. Harmony's Odyssey, which I think you're the only one who played this one, Cameron, right?
It's a good one, but it's a beautiful game, but it's just a very simple indie puzzle.
Okay. What about Wizard with a Gun?
Wizard with a Gun is good as well, but it, from what I read with reviews, it suffers at the end. Gotcha. I played a bit of it. I enjoyed my time with it, but I haven't been compelled to go back. If I had a co-op partner, I think this would be a lot higher up in the list.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like one of those $40 indie games that nobody else seems to have. So,
right.
Yeah.
Little Gator game.
This is also it's Harmony's Odyssey. Yeah, it's a cute little. Explore
Okay,
an
yeah.
island kind of game. These are the kind of games I play with Persephone.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Like they're cute, but they're not Game of the Year contenders.
All right. What about Assassin's Creed Mirage? Now that's an interesting one because this is one of the ones I missed, unfortunately.
I want to say maybe.
Okay.
It's very like. I'll be honest. I skipped the cutscenes with this one because I didn't really care for the story in Mirage. But in terms of like, hey, this feels like Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood, like that kind of series, reinvented for like a modern age, or not reinvented, but like brought forward to the current age. Yeah, I think it's a very enjoyable game.
Okay.
Had it on my top 10, but yeah.
Okay. Zach's asking if anyone played RoboCop. I really wish I played RoboCop.
I want to play RoboCop as well, but yeah.
I really want to, but it's the kind of thing where like it needs to be on Game Pass. To be honest, it's also like
it's too expensive.
It is too expensive. Yeah. Party Animals.
It's good with a group, but yeah, I would say low maybes.
Okay.
But I could easily see it going into no as well.
Gotcha. No, that's fair. Let me just put some space here. The Crew Motorfest.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. If you went like the Crew Motorfest versus Forza Motorsport, I'd
Horizon.
be like,
yeah.
Motorsport was very enjoyable. It's accessible enough to a point where I think anybody could kind of jump on board with it and enjoy it. Like in terms of it doesn't have any ridiculously hard achievements or anything. It's just a pretty good racing game for like 30 hours.
Okay.
So.
DPS Idol.
No.
No. Didn't think so. Marble It Up Ultra.
Adrian's not here, so it's gonna have to go on the no. If Adrian was here, he would be fighting tooth and nail.
Yeah, he fucking loves that game.
It is quite fun, though.
Well, it's not,
but,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Moving Out 2.
It's enjoyable, but it's more of the first.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll put it in the maybe.
I will say they did do some pretty good upgrades with it, but yeah, it's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can take that. Diablo 4.
I'm very torn on this.
Okay. I'll move it up to maybe because I want to talk a bit about it because I feel like we can't
put it maybe for now, and then I can discuss it later.
Yeah. Railbound.
Good game, but indie, like very simplistic but cute art style kind of thing.
A Building Full of Cats.
Where's Waldo with cats? Game of the year.
Okay, yeah, fair. Yeah, solved.
One of those ones I can pass the control to Persephone and just watch her find cats, and it's that kind of enjoyable.
Far World Pioneers. I heard this was not very good.
I played a little bit with a newbie. It was enjoyable in the co-op sense, but it's very Terraria kind of.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say no.
Lego 2K Drive.
No, only because of the egregious microtransactions.
Fair. Pseudo Cats.
Same thing as the building with cats.
Oh,
sorry. Like, it's a cat game.
It's like Sudoku with cats.
Sudoku with cats,
okay.
Yeah.
That's cute. Okay, I like that, but yeah, I don't know if that's Game of the Year material. Cassette Beasts. I have this downloaded. I do really want to play it.
This is a good one if you're a fan of Pokemon. I'm personally, I would put it up against like Planet Lana, Ravenlock, those kind of games.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll move it up for now and maybe. Okay.
But it is 100% like very similar to Pokemon.
Dead Island 2. So this is this is Alex's Game of the Year. So I'm going to put it in the maybe because I feel like we probably should talk about it, and I know you enjoyed it.
I very enjoyed the base game except for the fact that one achievement wouldn't unlock for me. I actually had to bring out the Xbox One, download on that to get it to pop.
Right.
The DLC was awful. Like, I haven't played a worse DLC this year.
Wow.
But yeah, like the main game was like everybody thought this game was going to launch in such a horrible state, and I think that's why we kind of had such good impressions of it. It's like one of those, like, it's a video game. It's what you want from a video game. Go in, kill some shit, and then just move on.
Hey, no, fair enough. It is on my I wish it had come to Game Pass because I would have played it day one because I feel like this is be a great co-op experience. Disney Speedstorm.
No.
Yeah, fair. I had a feeling. Urbex City Builder.
It's good if you're into those kind of games, but I haven't been compelled to go back to it, so I would say no.
Yeah. Loop Hero.
I would. Okay, like Planet Alana and Ravenlock and all that are like enjoyable because of like more so the artistic side of it, like the world.
Yeah, the craft.
Loop Hero is good because of the game design is that good.
The mechanics are great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I would
I'll
say
put it in maybe. Yep, that's fair. The Last Worker. I think no. That was not a great game.
Did you play it?
I watched a few things about it. I didn't. It was the thing where I did some investigating before I put it on my tag, and I was like,
I've enjoyed it, except for Okay, I enjoyed it up to the point of the controls when you're flying the hovercraft kind of thing in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It has like a very you keep on tapping, and it just wouldn't register it fast enough.
Right.
So that was that one mechanic made me put it down, but the rest of the game up until that point I was really enjoying. So
okay, we can put it at maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Not for broadcast.
I feel like this would be a yes if we had I've dived this game, but nobody else here has played it, right?
No, so I
haven't played it.
probably.
I would say put it for no because we can't really talk to it, but
no,
from what I've seen of it, it's really good, and I think we should play it next year.
For sure. I think that we have to be realistic here. It's like this is our game of the year list, right? It's only the stuff that we have experience with. So audience out there, there is stuff in here that we probably should have played that we haven't, that we're going to miss out on, unfortunately.
Yep.
The Wreck.
I would put this up. I guess the best comparison is if you've played a game like Life is Strange, this is the kind of emotions that I kind of got to that's the kind of narrative kind of
I would say my language.
I would say maybe. I know it actually ended up in a few people's Game of the Year lists.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Vernal Edge.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards no.
Okay. Venaris Tactics.
No.
Okay.
I want to say maybe, but it's more so leaning on no, just to cut out some of the fodder.
Railway Islands.
Same thing as Railbound, just cute little puzzle. Yeah.
Merge and Blade.
I really enjoyed Merge and Blade.
Okay, look, we can put it in maybe. I mean, we're getting towards the end of the list.
There's this argument of convincing the other hosts that they should play it. So
yeah, there is that. So yeah, I definitely I want these things to have their spotlight where appropriate.
Yeah.
Catan console edition. I'm getting rid of that. It's Catan, all right.
I will say I want to mention here. One of my mates did pass away this year, and the last memory I had was us at DreamHack playing Catan against each other and just absolutely shredding him.
That's
and
great.
Whenever we're just talking, there was this thing of it. We're playing Cards Against Humanity, and he was getting really annoyed because we both modded for the same streamer, and I'd been told off numerous times about mentioning Soup. The first card he gets drawn in Cards Against Humanity is Soup.
Great. That's great.
Yeah. Anyway.
Atomic Heart.
Man, I was really keen for Atomic Heart, and it just really fell apart, didn't it?
That seems to be the case, yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is a shame, because I was so fucking excited. I was like, man, fucking Bioshock in Soviet Russia, that looks amazing.
Yeah. And even now the DLC looks amazing, and I'm just like, oh, should I go back? Maybe. Don't know.
All right. Fashion Police Squad.
No.
SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake.
I want to say maybe. I didn't.
Really?
I didn't. It's a remake, isn't it? No.
Cosmic Shake, I think, is the original. Yeah, it's the new one.
No, wait. They had remakes before that, and then Cosmic Shake was the new one, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, so
okay,
they did. So the Cosmic Shake is the new one. Yeah.
I want to say maybe in the terms of it's an enjoyable PS2 game, but then at the same time, I completely forgot that I played this year.
Yeah, okay, so no, I'm not putting that on the list. Hi-Fi Rush, though.
Yeah, I feel like that deserves to be on the list.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That can go in the yes. A space for the Unbound. I know you want
this
to put
goes
this
in the yes, and if anybody says no, I'll fight you.
Okay, all right, well, I'm putting space for the Unbound.
Yeah.
I already knew that. I had it ready to go. Okay. Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
I know. Okay.
I don't care what you say.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'll fight you all.
Under fear of
Okay.
violence, I'm going to have to say yes.
I guess we're saying yes. Okay. All right. Well, that's a nice, easy one.
Bully you into it.
I mean, look, like, you know, I'm not going to be the one podcast on earth that has a Game of the Year list that doesn't have Baldur's Gate on it. So come on.
I have my reasons.
Yeah. I mean, look, the only reason I wouldn't put it on there is just I literally have not played it.
Yeah. I think this does fall into the fact that like it's fallen so late in the year.
Yeah. For an Xbox podcast, you know, we just have not had that. I have seen about 25 hours of it being played in front of me, so I have a relatively good experience about it so far. But
so much for it being your Christmas present.
yeah, I know. I'm well aware. Yes. Mineko's Night Market.
No.
That's fair.
I like it. It's good, beautiful, but no.
Kuori Suba.
Never heard
I think this is one of yours, Char. No.
That's just a visual novel.
And then Chicory.
Yes.
Chicory, yes. Okay.
Or fight for Baldur's Gate and Chicory.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Chicory.
That's totally...
Chicory, I feel like is gonna be like same as like Ravenlock and Blood and Lana and all that.
It's so much better. It's more like
I know. I need to play
Chicory
it.
for me. Chicory feels like.
So, let me put it this way: we have in the top 10 category, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 games in the yes category. And we have a lot more in the maybe category. Now, I'm going to read out the yes list.
Yep.
And we'll just see how we feel.
Okay.
Alan Wake 2.
Okay.
Cocoon. Dead Space. Dredge. Hogwarts Legacy. Lies of P. Remnant 2. Resident Evil 4. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Like a Dragon Gaiden. RoboQuest. The Crew Motorfest. Hi-Fi Rush, A Space for the Unbound, Baldur's Gate 3, and Chicory. Is there anything on that list that you're like, actually, that probably doesn't really belong there, and there was something I'd rather have?
I'm waiting for the list update in Trello.
Yeah, so I will save the list so you can look at it now.
Thanks.
Sorry, I was editing it. Okay, Jesus.
Crew Motorfest needs to go out of there.
I think I don't think Crew Motorfest can stick in this list.
That's fine. I can accept that. I
fight for it.
No. I'm not gonna fight for Motorfest. I'm fine with that opinion. I know it's very much the fact that I enjoy racing games, so that's fine.
I mean, like, I enjoy racing games too. Like, I enjoy Forza a lot. I'm looking forward to playing this game. I don't think I would ever put it on my top 10. Though.
Yeah. I would say if the Crew Motorfest goes, I don't think Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Only because of the state it launched in.
Yeah.
I can't give it to a game knowing.
Okay, let me leave it there for a little. Let me leave it there for a little bit. But I'm not opposed to potentially losing it. I definitely if it's on the list, it's definitely towards the bottom because of the issues.
Yeah.
Fuck me, it's a good game. But I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from. Let's have a look at the maybes and just kind of start pruning some of the stuff out. Is Assassin's Creed Mirage better than any of those games on that list?
No, not on the top list, no.
No. Okay. Ghost Trick, I'm just going to take out. I don't think we can compete with that.
Yeah.
Bramble.
Yeah, I think it falls into like Ravenlock and
it's good. Like, I think it's better than those games, but I still
I think it is better than those games. This from everything I've seen. I haven't had a chance to play it either, but like, you know.
Yeah, it does make you, yeah.
This is a very AAA year.
Unfortunately,
it
yeah. I'm going to take Fist out because I don't think it sits. Ravenlock, I don't think is going to hang.
Yeah.
Vemba, I don't think is going to make it. Party Animals, I don't think. Last Worker, Last Worker, I don't think is going to make it.
No.
Starfield, no. Amnesia the Bunker I like, but no, I don't think so. Okay, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, I think we want to talk about. Armored Core, I want to fight for. Coffee Talk 2 is worth talking about. Everspace 2, I want to talk about. Sea of Stars, I definitely want to talk about. I don't know if GoldenEye hangs on this list.
No.
GoldenEye is purely nostalgia, and I
Yeah.
will 100% accept that.
How do we feel about Diablo 4?
So lasting impression.
If I based it off how much I like, Diablo was like one of my most played games of this year.
Sure.
Based on how it launched, I was really impressed. But as time's gone on, I guess the negative connotation with updates and all that, I can 100% understand it going by the wayside, but I usually base Game of the Years based on how they are around launch and my experiences around that.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair to consider.
Based on my experience with Diablo 3 and the seasons in Diablo 3, they made you make new characters for the season stuff anyway. Yeah. Nothing changed, but people are complaining about the Diablo 4 style over the Diablo 3 style, and it's like it's the same thing. But they're adding actual mechanics instead of new outfits that have certain elements and stuff like that.
I think the reason I'm impressed with it too is like the massive marketing behind it. Like there was so much massive marketing behind it, and it was a AAA that just seemed like it pulled it off at launch. Like you think of compared to stuff like Modern Warfare 3 and that this year. Like this was a solid game that came out that everybody essentially wanted to pick up. Well, most people wanted to pick up, and I really did enjoy my time with it. But then, if we were going on it from an ongoing support kind of lens, I wouldn't put it in my Game of the Year list. So I'm completely understandable if you want to put it in no.
Let's maybe come back to it.
But I will say it is a pretty solid video game.
What? Okay, Cassette Beasts, I think we can cut.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Dead Island 2, I think there's a case for.
I think it's a good game, but like it doesn't do anything extraordinary. It's nostalgic in the sense of like these are the games we used to have during the 360 period.
Sure.
And like a lot of games now just go over the top with their stuff, and there's a lot of fat.
Yeah. It's a video game, which I think is great, but I don't think it's
not in a year when you have like Baldur's Gate and that.
Yeah, it had a lot of guts releasing this year.
All right, okay. He's fucking here all week, fellas. Loop Hero, I don't think is going to stay.
I will accept that just because it is essentially a port of a game that launched a few years ago, but was pretty solid.
Do we think The Wreck and Merge and Blade are going to make it as well?
I would say The Wreck could go away. That's fine. Merge and Blade, you can cut both.
Okay. Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's really
very good
hard.
games, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So we have a list of about 20 games here, and we need to get it down to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I see you have Baldur's Gate 3 here, and none of us have played that.
Fuck off. I'll fight.
I really like Sea of...
Sorry.
Are we just picking and choosing out of this list?
I think we maybe we'll start we'll start moving stuff up. But I think
in this list is where we start.
All right.
Yeah. I think Alan Wake 2. I'm going to put Alan Wake 2 at number 1 for now.
100% that needs to be in this list.
I think that's on. There's no way that's not on the list. I'm going to put it at number 1. Doesn't necessarily need to stay there, but I think it's near the top.
Yeah,
that's fine.
The game we talked about before, I think Resident Evil 4 kind of replaces Dead Space.
Yeah, I can.
In terms of remake.
Yep. Okay, we can put. I'll put Resident Evil up. I think Resident Evil definitely.
I would give up Hogwarts Legacy for Baldur's Gate 3.
I think that's probably a good shout. All right, so we'll move Baldur's Gate up as well, and I think we'll take Hogwarts Legacy out.
Mm-hmm.
Where have I put Baldur's Gate? Here it is.
Close to the bottom, apparently.
Yeah, that's
Actually, in the middle.
All right. Actually, I'm just gonna get rid of all these because they don't make any sense right now. Okay. I think Cocoon needs to be on this list. I don't think I played the game. I don't think I want. Well, first of all, I want some indie representation on this list to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Dredge.
Yeah, and I think it's between Cocoon and Dredge. Basically, I think of it. Yeah, so I'm going to put Cocoon up for now, but I think Dredge might put Dredge up as well.
Can we like continue like eliminating games from this list?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So the ones that I see straight off the bat.
Yeah.
Coffee Talk 2. As much as I enjoy it,
yeah,
it's very much the same as the first one.
Yeah. I kind of agree.
Yeah.
I think we can probably lose that.
And that's
It's a great game, but it's very same.
And the other one that's kind of hurting me a little bit is Hi-Fi Rush. I definitely think Hi-Fi Rush is an outstanding game.
Yeah.
But in terms of like how we like play games as achievement hunters and that taking that into consideration,
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense putting a
Have it
game
on.
that has like play five story modes.
Yeah.
Together.
That's No, okay. Yeah.
That's a good lens. Yeah.
I think that's a reasonable thing.
I definitely think it, like in terms of like music and all that, I definitely think that would 100%.
Yeah, if we were doing categories, I think we would see some of the stuff show up, right?
Yeah.
Right. I think I can give up Sea of Stars. I really, really enjoyed that game, but I know towards the end of it, I started having problems with the repetition and the kind of the simplicity of the game.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful game. I think people should play it if you have any interest in RPGs. It's really, really well made, but I just don't see it staying on this list with all this other great stuff, unfortunately. I'm going to take Everspace 2 off the list because I know I'm the only one who played it. I love that game. It is probably one of the best space combat sims I've played in a very, very long time. I was obsessed with playing this. And it was PC only, and I stopped playing my Xbox to play this. Yeah. But I just don't think it. Yeah, I just don't think it can compete. It probably will end up on my personal game of the year list, but it's a hard one. Oh boy.
Can you refresh the list?
Yes,
Yeah.
I will refresh the list.
There we go. We'll cut some.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. What do we definitely have to move up? You got a strong case for Space for the Unbound, right? Like you want that.
Yeah, I honestly think like if in terms of any representation, Space for the Unbound is honestly one of the most incredible experiences I've ever played from an indie developer.
Would you put it above Dredge? That's the trick. Because I'm like I like Dredge, right? But I didn't love it.
So, in all honesty, for my personal game of the year list, Dredge was number 2. Space for the Unbound was number 3.
Okay. I'll put Dredge up there, but I feel like we're gonna have to.
If you're,
we'll see.
Yeah.
So we've got 6 in there at the moment. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we have 10 games left in 4 spots.
Yeah.
I don't think Diablo 4 is gonna make it.
I don't think Diablo 4 is gonna make it. I don't think Dead Space is gonna make it.
No, I think I kind of
agree.
I mean, I think with Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil did kind of steal Dead Space's limelight.
It's really unfortunate because I'm so glad that they got to make Dead Space again. Like they got to go back and really redo it, but it is the same game.
Yeah, I think Liza P definitely needs to be up in there.
Yep. Okay. Yep. I'm with you.
Yep.
Okay.
And if we're doing that, we'd have to probably its closest compare it to Remnant 2.
I don't think Remnant makes it on this list. I'm having a fucking great time playing Remnant, but it is literally the same game. I mean, like, they've done a lot. They've done a lot in terms of like it looks a lot nicer, it plays a lot better.
It's hard because like Remnant is what I want in a video game. Yeah, I want an FPS experience with friends, with interested take on bosses. Gorgeous level design, even though I think it is a bit too big for what it is.
Sure.
I mean, if you want to get rid of it, I understand. But
well, okay, we can keep it for now. And
leave it for now. Yeah.
I want to make a big case for chicory.
You want to make a big case for chicory? Okay.
Yeah, like for me, chicory reminds me of tunic. It's not in the same vein, but it is similar in terms of like it's beautifully designed.
Yeah.
You get to be quite creative inside it, and there's heaps of puzzles. You can choose the level of difficulty you want it to be at, and it still has those same kind of boss fights that you have. But like, it's a nice little puzzle game. I think it's great. I really loved chicory.
Okay, I'm having a look at that now.
Like,
yeah.
This really hurts me, but the biggest problem I have with chicory is that the achievements are really glitchy. and
valid. They haven't been a problem for me far. But
the reason I have not played chicory is because I've read so many people complain about a lot of the collectible stuff not unlocking properly.
My question is, do you think chicory deserves to be on the same list as Baldur's Gate?
Then with Baldur's Gate, no.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Wolong hangs on this list. I've had a really good time with Wolong, but I also played Sekiro this year, and it made me go, man, Wolong is...
I honestly, I enjoyed Wolong. Like, I couldn't get into Liza P. I tried to, like, twice.
Sure.
But Wolong, I've enjoyed the hell out of. Like, and I would say there's moments in Wolong that are just as difficult as Liza P.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
I started the year playing Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy. And moved over pretty much straight away to trying out Wolong, and it was essentially a very, very similar experience. So, like, the pattern that they have kind of for their games does cross over a lot of their games.
Yeah, I mean, again, they were basically trying to make a Neo more like Sekiro.
Like, they're refining it every single time and making it better, and that's the best thing about the kind of games that they're making with, like, Neo and stuff from PlayStation, all that kind of stuff. But, I mean, yeah.
The thing is, to me, I haven't played something like Wolong before. Whereas in you guys have those comparisons. Whereas in Liza P does feel like Dark Souls and that to me, and it feels as much as I think it is a pretty game, I don't think it is deserving enough to end on a Game of the Year list.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair.
That's my mentality around that.
Yeah, let me pitch this. If you had to pick between Wolong and Like a Dragon Gaiden, which one would you pick? Because that's kind of what we're coming down to here. Because I don't feel like both of those are going to fit on this list, and I feel like we need to make a decision there.
I'll do what's right, and I will say Like a Dragon Gaiden, because it is the best damn representation for Yakuza. And I do think anybody that is an achievement hunter that doesn't, doesn't want to engage in like 100 hours to play like Zero or something like that. Even though they're fantastic games, I understand people's schedules, and if they want to complete something, this would be the game to do it with.
Yeah, I'm refreshing the list now.
Cool.
So if that's the argument, you can take out Wolong.
Yeah, I don't think Wolong can stay.
I think compared to the others, you'll have to probably take out Chicory. I still think people should play it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Chicory is our indie game of the year.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, we do have some indie stuff, a lot of indie representation on this list, which is great. I don't think RoboQuest. I think RoboQuest is fucking cool.
I think it is a great game, but it is very much a game made for me.
Sure.
And I don't think I'm going to convince you guys with that. I still think you should have done Gunfire Reborn before it left Game Pass. This is me putting my foot down now. Yeah. If you take it off the list, you're doing this game.
All right, well, we'll see. I did consider it.
It is a good game, and the co-op aspect of it as well.
We have 2 spots left, and we have 4 games.
Yeah,
we have Remnant 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Chicory, and Armored Core.
I picked my 2 pretty much straight away. I think.
Which ones?
I would say Star Wars Jedi Survivor and Armored Core.
Okay, I would pick the same 2.
I would pick Remnant 2, and I would pick Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
I'm kind of out of this because I have only played Chicory.
I also have not played. I've played 2 games on this list of all of these games.
I really need a good argument for Armored Core.
I need an argument for that. I need to know the difference between Remnant 2 and Armored Core. If you can.
Yeah, I think I love.
Just when you're thinking about Armored Core 2, there was moments on the podcast that you brought up. As much as you enjoyed this game, there was a really annoying aspects of it.
Actually, you're right. I think that the game itself, the gameplay and the way it is built is incredible, and I think FromSoft have knocked it out of the fucking park in terms of what they have done, of like being the Souls, the Souls company now, basically going. Actually, you know what? We're going to go back to a hardcore mech game. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to have some Souls aspects to it, but it's going to be its own fucking thing. And we're just going to throw it out there and people are going to fucking love it. However, I did not need to play through that game 3 fucking times. Four fucking times.
It's the same argument for Hi-Fi Rush, yeah? Hi-Fi Rush
You're
is
right.
amazing
You're right.
game.
I think the way that the game designed, unfortunately, I think takes it out of the running. I love that game as a concept and I love playing it, but I think
And like the reason I thought it was like I've not played it as well, but I mean I gear it towards the skill-based stuff, and it's like if you have to do like S ranks and blah blah blah, I'm kind of like I want to hit that as much as possible. So yeah,
and the fact that you have to replay to do those is not great. Okay, so we now have a list of 11 games.
I would say out of the, are we going 11? Are we?
I've done 11 for now.
Okay.
Because I feel like some of the stuff...
Whatever ends up at 11 gets kicked once we've
pretty much.
Yeah.
So we need to start moving some stuff around, I think. What are we... Okay, let's... If we're going to go... If you were looking at this list and you're like, yeah, that belongs at the top, what do you think?
Alan Wake.
Alan Wake.
I think Alan Wake, right?
Definitely Alan Wake, I think, yes. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's a pretty safe lock for number 1. I'm going to bold it just so we're not going to move it.
Alan Wake and Wonder Performance.
Yeah.
Harold Darkness.
Just arty.
Yes, Artie's great. I mean,
it is our house film, 100%, and I love every moment of it.
We will do a spoiler cast for it. Just because we want to gush about it, but obviously everything.
Yeah, I just want to be able to finish it first.
Everything's a fucking spoiler in that game, but yes. Okay. I'm looking at... Yeah, okay.
I will concede and say Baldur's Gate deserves second because of what it's done for the industry.
I would say yes, but considering it only just came out and very few of us have actually played it.
We've only just got it.
Yeah.
True.
There are a lot of achievements and some not great ones in that list, but...
There is very true. Okay. If you look at that list is 7 people have finished that game.
It's got 2. There's 2 separate complete the game in tactician mode and then complete the game in honor mode. So like
looking at that lens, you have Resident Evil 4. You have to play more than once,
which I didn't.
Lies of P. You have to play more than once.
Yeah.
What else is on there? There's at least one more game on there that you have to play more than once.
I mean, Remnant 2 is repetition of the game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But in terms of what we've done though in Remnant 2, I don't think we've really played that much extra past.
No, that's true, but we've been quite optimized, right? In how we played. I've literally had 10 guides open 10 pages of guides open the entire time
I've been checking the wiki against all your guides at the same time. So
exactly. So it's like,
yeah.
I think if I was going to pick a number 2 based on some of the stuff, I think I would say probably Cocoon. I think that if we take all things into consideration, achievement list, how many times you need to play through it, how well the game is made, I can't think of a game that I enjoyed more outside of Alan Wake 2 than Cocoon this year.
In terms of I'll let you speak.
The only thing I don't like about Cocoon, like I love the puzzle design aspect of it. The only thing that I'm kind of like points against is it very much looks, I don't want to say asset flip, but like a lot of it just feels like the typical Unity assets. They kind of took away from it for a little bit for me. I personally go a little bit lower, but I can understand the love for the game in terms of incredible mechanics, like that, like lead the storytelling, essentially.
Yeah.
Can as we're rearranging this list, can we go through the games at this point so that we can get an idea? Because I don't know the gameplay of half of these games. So
okay. So
it's quite a good opportunity to do that because you might sway me.
Yeah.
No, that's totally fair. Okay, so Alan Wake 2, I think we've all kind of have a relatively experienced third person, narrative based third person shooter with a lot of detective stuff. Absolutely fantastic. Resident Evil 4.
Fantastic.
Resident Evil 4 is a incredible, like, this is how you remake a game. And this is not a surprise. I think that Capcom has nailed it in terms of how they remake this stuff. They did it for 2. They did 3 is a bit iffy, but they still did a good job for 3, even though there were some problems with it. And they said they're going to keep doing it. You know, I'm looking forward to
course correcting the series essentially.
In a lot of ways, you know, I think that Capcom has had kind of a bad reputation of, quite rightly, bad reputation of going back and just porting a lot of their stuff, like without really doing any work to it. So it's really nice to see them actually put the effort in and make games that are beloved. I mean, look, like Resident Evil 4 is quite possibly potentially the most beloved game of all time across, like, just in terms of like the wide swaths of people who played that game when it came out. Like, you know, you can make the argument for other games, but I'm like, Resident Evil 4 was played by so many people and is an entry point into that series, and also created the third-person shooter over-the-shoulder genre.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's the reason why Gears of War fucking exists, which is crazy to think about. And the fact that they were like, hey, this game, which, you know, is one of the few games that a lot of people will be like, hey, 10 out of 10. Like, there are no notes, perfect game. They're like, we're going to go back and remake that game. Is insane to me.
Yeah. So, like, with this game, like, the changes that they made are obviously making it a little bit more consistent with the story. Like, that's what they want to do with everything. But, like, they're also adding stuff to it. Like, they're adding the first-person mode as well to it because they're doing the VR. They've done the VR for PlayStation.
Yep.
And, like, they're making everything consistent across the series, I think, and then building new features into the game to, like, elevate and, like, you know, just... and you know, they want to make people understand the story a little bit more, which is so hard with Resident Evil.
Yeah, there's kind of, I mean, it's so cheesy, but they also kind of, they struck a nice balance.
It's also the only series that has so many games that they can remake, but also keep the old ones on the market and still have people buy both sets and have a different experience.
Yeah, and I think that's a key reason why it's on this list is that, like while Dead Space, you could go back and do the 360 version, and it'll look a lot rougher, and there won't be some nice, like, you know, they did some nice stuff around mobility and kind of how the levels work, but it's very functionally the same game. But I did enjoy Resident Evil 4 a lot, and I think it's a fantastic game, but I think it pulls it down the list, and my list personally is that it is a remake, and I kind of talked about this when I was playing it. I knew exactly what was coming up. You know, like, as much as I was interested to see how they did stuff, there were very few surprises in that game. And, like, I know that's kind of an unfair thing to say, right? Because I'm like, oh no, you remade the game too well. Like, but, you know, there is a sense of like, okay, this is the part. I was like, okay, this is the part where I fight Krauser. This is the part where I go in there and I use the liquid nitrogen and the rocket launcher to kill this guy in one hit. And they did do some stuff where they're like, hey, this part of the game is like, this boss, we just took it out of the game. We're like, this part sucks. I feel like, I feel like this is like, if someone wanted to play Resident Evil 4, this is the experience I would say that you need to play. As much as I love the original, I feel like they improved pretty much everything here.
It comes down to discussion of like remake versus remaster as well. Like from what you're saying to me, Resident Evil 4, as much as is a remake, is a remaster in terms of what you're expecting. Sure,
I mean it's a remake, right? Like it hits the same story beats. The locations are very similar. Things happen in slightly different orders. They've redone stuff, but like, you know, I recognize I'm like, hey, this is the part where I get to the maze. I know kind of what the maze looks like, but it's built from the ground up. They started with I think
saying
it's a fantastic game.
Remaster comes so close to saying it was ported.
Yeah, which I think is not
which is not what this is. Yeah.
It also has way too many playthroughs though.
Mm.
I had to play through this game 5 times. And it was almost 6 because I fucked something up. Like the amount of challenges, and I understand. Like again, this is a Resident Evil thing, right? Like you want to do like a speed run mode, like a knife only mode. Like again, like that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It really, really wore thin towards the end. Yeah, I don't think I can see it at number 2. I mean, it's definitely on this list, but I think maybe it's probably closer to a 5 or a 6 for me.
Okay.
But I'm open to other arguments. If I would put Baldur's Gate 3 above it, and I'd put Cocoon above it.
Yeah, it was going to sit around the 4 or 5 for me, I think.
Okay, I'll move Cocoon up for now because I'm going to put that at number 2 for now, just because I'm controlling this and you guys can get fucked. No,
I think Baldur's Gate squarely should be at 3rd place.
3rd place, okay. Okay, well, I will move it there, but I just want to say, does anyone want to argue above that?
So we're going Alan Wake, Cocoon, and Baldur's Gate 3 for the top.
I think it's kind of what we have for our top 3 at the moment.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would say you think would change that?
No, I can sit with that.
I'm good for that too.
As a collective, I can sit with that. Personally, to me, like Dredge and Space of the Unbound would be my 2nd and 3rd, but then I haven't played the other 2, so yeah.
Would you put Space of the Unbound above Resident Evil 4?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah, okay. I think I'm totally okay with that. I think that game.
I think Space of the Unbound is like one of these games that everybody should play. I'm sure some people will just go like, oh, it's an indie, it's pixel art, whatever.
Sure.
But in terms of delivering such an impactful narrative, at the same time, representation for Southeast Asia, Indonesian setting, 90s, the 2 teenage characters are so relatable and have such a, like, essentially having the mechanic of their powers mixed in with the narrative is done so well. Like, you think of, like, the same kind of mechanic as Cocoon, like, going into stuff, but, like, going into people's hearts, finding out their issues, and then touching on those kind of emotive topics. I think Space of the Unbound knocks it out of the park.
Do you think we should put it higher than Baldur's Gate 3?
I personally would. But this is like indie versus AAA at the same time. Yeah?
Sure, it's a very, very.
It's a very unfair comparison.
Yeah.
I very much think, like, if I was to recommend out of those 2 games though, I would obviously recommend Space of the Unbound because that's what I played.
Sure.
And it's enjoyable. Baldur's Gate is one of those things of.
Baldur's Gate is going to be big, and it's one of those ones that you start with the intention of continually going back to it.
It's going to be a game that other games are going to be based on, I think, from now on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different, like, I kind of knew part of what I was expecting when I went to start playing Baldur's Gate, and I've been waiting for this entire year.
Actually, yeah, Char, I would love to hear more about the game and kind of your experiences with it as you've been playing it.
Yeah, so I knew it, like, the fraction of tiniest amount of information about it before I started it, right? I had watched both of my flatmates play it on PC, so I had a chance to sort of see a little bit of it, but not get spoilers or not actually take anything from it that would then ruin my experience with it. I'm still in the early stages, and I love it. It's a combination of styles because you have turn-based combat, right? But that's the same as if you were playing in a D&D campaign. And you still get to roll dice to do certain checks. There are some checks that it will just do automatically in the background, and then it'll come up and, like, say if you've passed or failed. So, like, when you're running around the map, if there's, like, a hidden treasure, it does a perception check, and if one of your members in your party has high perception, they're more likely to pass it, so then you'll get to see it, which means that, like, most of the time you're not going to miss anything. But again, it's building your team, because you also can swap between the 4 characters that are in your party. You can level them up and choose what they get when they level up, and it's the same as if you're doing leveling up in a D&D campaign, which is what I love about it because I play a lot of D&D. I'm in several different campaigns.
The question I have for you then is,
yes,
if you took somebody like Matt, for example, through Baldur's Gate, who's going to strategize every little aspect of the game, do you think he was still going to enjoy it at the completion
yeah,
mark?
because it's very narrative driven.
Okay.
Because like they've kind of combined all of these different aspects because you have the turn-based combat, right? And you have like infinite choices because you get to play as each of your party. You've got 4 in your party, but you also run around a map and it's open world. You also get to choose what you say in different conversations that start, and that will determine what happens next. So I've done a couple of pieces already in the early stage, and Chris has come down and been like, so how did you deal with this person? And I went, oh, well, I did this, and then I ended up having to fight them. And Chris was like, oh, really? I didn't. I drank this potion that they gave me, was supposed to put me to sleep. My character didn't, because my character is a druid. Ha ha ha. So, like, he had a completely different interaction in that whole thing than I did. And it's all based on what race your character is, what class you play as. There'll be different things that will happen in different areas.
So the thing that probably, like, the question I have about the game is that, like, the thing that kills me wanting to even play it is, what is a perception check outside of a random number generator? Because I hear perception check, and I'm just like, there's a random number generator, and it's not gonna be
kind of, because it's based on a dice roll, right? But it's so perception. The way it works in D&D, and it's the same as how it will work in Baldur's Gate, this is the easiest way I can explain it, is that if you want to do a perception check, you have to meet a certain point mark when you roll the dice. So, like, it might be
like a threshold.
Check 15, or it might be a perception check 5, or something like that. That's this entire game. So every interaction where you have to do a check, or you have to check your ability, like if you're making a jump, the jumps are actually good. They're not based on a check, but like, but like there are actions that you take, and you'll have to do a roll to see how well you do it, essentially. So like sometimes you might not pass them, and like I'm currently playing a drow, so all the goblins love me, and I'm going through this goblin area, and if you're not playing as something that like they have as an ally, they won't let you walk in the door. But because I'm playing as a drow, I can walk all over the place because they're like, oh yeah, you're one of us. Just, it's funny little things like that. But the perception check, they don't tell you. But if you do like the lock pick, so if you go up to a door and it's locked, and you choose, if like my character is a charlatan, so I can actually do lock picks just off the bat, because I have deception. I have an extra like 5 points in deception because it's one of my abilities. So you do a roll and it'll come up on screen with a little dice, and you can choose if you want to add bonuses to it. So like you make sure that you're definitely going to get higher than the check, and half of them are like 5 or 10, sometimes 15, and then you do your little rolls. If you fail, you've still got a couple of backup chances, but it's based on a threshold.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's also the problem I have with D&D, because I'm just like, well, it's a random roll of the dice. So it's just like,
I guess the key thing there is that you kind of try and play to your strengths. So if if you're a spell caster, it's like, well, I can set things on fire. You probably want to you put extra points into your intelligence, so that when you do those rolls, you're like, hey, threshold is 15. I got a 10, but because of my like high intelligence and a few other things like some of the equipment, I get a +6, so that becomes a 16. I pass the roll.
And there's different spells and like different items of clothing that you can put on, and you can change them based on each person in your party. And so the other key thing, and this is what you would do in D&D as well, is like you want to make sure that your party are all like crossing as many different areas as possible to cover all your bases. So you can do that with your party because you get a little bit of... There's a little bit of wiggle room in terms of what spells you can choose for each of your party, but the main thing is that the people that you're bringing on, there's like main cast members or main characters, they've already got their class, but you can also hire what they call hirelings as a person that you could just use them as fodder depending on how you're wanting to play. Like you just send them out into melee combat instead of you. Yeah, like there's so many different ways to play this game. You can also go through the entire game and just do any option that just results in no fighting.
You be very persuasive and sneaky.
Like, for the most part, that's what I'm doing, is I'm getting into rooms where I shouldn't be because I'm using persuasion because I have a proficiency in it. So I get an extra 5 and then like another extra like 5 points from something else. So
and I think the other key thing that I've been seeing, the game's being played behind me right now, is that Larian has done a really good job of failing a roll not being a game over state or a massive drawback. Like the whole thing is that the game provides you with a lot of options. It's like, hey, you fucked up your lock picking on this door. Fuck it. Kick it down.
Initiative?
Yeah, kick it down, burn it, find another way in. They give you a lot of options. And also, especially in the conversation stuff, it's like, hey, if you fail the roll, sometimes the result is funnier or better than you would expect. Or it's kind of like a failing forward thing where Larian have done a really good job of making it so that it's not just like, oh, fuck, I fucked up that roll, my game's over, I've got a suboptimal result. I mean, sometimes that'll happen, right? But sometimes they give you rolls like, hey, you need to hit a 30 for this. And you're like, well, this is a 20-sided die. What the fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Can I hit a 20 and get Tom Carter to sing me the natural perception?
Yes, exactly. That's 100% how that works. Yeah.
They do have the critical success and critical failure.
If you get a 20,
though,
yeah.
Which is quite cool.
Yeah, I think there's a strong case for leaving it where it is. I think 3 is probably a good spot for it. I am very excited to play it, but the achievement list is kind of maybe the one thing that gives me pause.
Yeah.
I think Space of the Unbound, I think, is good at number 4. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking of like Lies of P. Where does that sit?
I think it definitely sits around the middle there. Like this is a game you have to play more than once. Like 3 times I played it. You naturally would have to play it 3 times to get all of the achievements, unless you do, some funky stuff at the end of the game. But it's a game that kept me engaged the whole 3 playthroughs and was more than happy to play through it. And then when you played through it the second and the third time, when you picked up stuff in the crates and stuff like that, it was a +1 or +2 variant sometimes. Sometimes it wasn't a +1, +2, but it is the best representation of what all of these Souls-like games are. In terms of the way it's built, it is the ultimate compilation of Souls stuff.
Yeah, I think I described it as like a best of album where they were just like, all the hits. Let's just pull all that stuff in.
Yeah. It's like, oh, this is Bloodborne. This is, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Dark Souls architecture, like Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 3, Demon Souls, Sekiro with the parrying stuff, and I think it's an absolutely fantastic game.
Yeah.
I think I might put it over Resident Evil 4 actually. I think I probably enjoyed it more. I don't know.
You cleared that game really quickly.
I did.
Just don't know
I
how.
rinsed that game. That game was fucking fantastic.
Yeah. Which also goes to show how, you put a lot of time into it very, very quickly. So
I know Cameron's going to want to have Dredge above it though.
Above which one?
Above Lies of P, because I know you didn't like Lies of P very much.
Yeah, I really didn't care for Lies of P. Can you refresh it so I can see the current order?
Sure. Yeah. That's
Alan Wake 2, Cocoon, Baldur's Gate 3, Space of the Unbound. I personally think that it goes Dredge, Lies of P, Resident Evil 4.
I would probably agree with that. And I haven't played Dredge, but I mean, I like my fishing games and I just haven't got my hands on Dredge yet. I think
Dredge is very simple, knows what it wants to do, has a very unique art style to it. Like I can understand why it picked up a whole bunch of awards. Even today, it got nominated for the BAFTA long list.
Yeah, I think that I think it's a fantastic game. I definitely think it belongs to be on this list. I think, but I'm actually, I'm okay with that. Actually, I think Dredge, Liza P, Resident Evil 4, I think is good. I think we'll.
If I had to take a stranger off the street and convince them to play Dredge or Liza P, I think I would have a much easier time convincing them
for Dredge.
For
sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Like a Dragon. Now, Cameron, you're the only person who's played it, but
I think the only credit I can get, I shouldn't say only credit can give it. The main credit I can give it is that I don't really for me to sit down over a weekend and play a game in its entirety and get a completion and still be like a 20-hour day game and put that all in 2 days.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding. Like I was amazed. I was like, wait a minute, I was like, wow, this is, first of all, you completing a game. No, I mean not even joke. It's like that's just you don't tend to be a completionist.
I'll get like a few hours into a game and be like, this isn't
exactly like me. Again, like half of this list that we cut was things that you played for like 5 hours and we're like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I think that like you finishing the game, it just being a brand new release and it being a Yakuza game, I was like, this must be amazing.
Yeah. Like it has the only drawback to the game, which I could see for some people that have played other Yakuza games, is the narrative for this is you get to chapter 2 and you do a whole bunch of odd jobs.
Right.
But I still think that how they've done those jobs, it's still like it's those interesting side stories that you get from a Yakuza game. It's not the main narrative, but it's like, all right, well, what if this middle-aged man run into this guy on this particular day and it goes somewhere. It's still interesting to follow. And then like, I enjoyed this to the point of like, all right, the next day we went shopping. So we went shopping on the Sunday. I'd already put like 10 hours the day before. And I was like, oh, supermarkets here like all sell the Boss iced coffees now. Like I'm just going to get Boss iced coffees and just drink them while I'm playing Yakuza. And that's all I did all that weekend.
Again, that's
Is this the one that had Yong Ye as the replacement for
the English voice actor? Yes, actually, I think that is yes.
Yeah. And people were kind of mid on his performance with that, or just didn't like the difference between.
Unless you're a diehard fan, it doesn't matter. Like it's. Yeah, I don't think it makes a difference.
Maybe the only one thing I could maybe say against it is that this is like the 8th Yakuza game.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing though. Like you think of all those other games, how much the sides, not the side stories, how much the side content just weighs the game down. This is like the best of hits. You've got a few mini games. You've got like the pocket circuit. You got the fight arena, and that's it. Yeah, like the fight arena will take probably like 25% of your gameplay.
Sure.
But it's still enjoyable, and it still like gives you a sense of like this was a decent completion. Like think of how Assassin's Creed Mirage weighs up to like the previous Assassin's Creed, like Valhalla. This is such a good game because it's cut away all the fat. It's cut away all the fat down to the main thing that makes this series great.
Okay, here's the hype question. Do you think it's better than Remnant 2?
I would say, personally to me, it would go like a Dragon Gaiden, Remnant 2, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
So, what about Resident Evil? Yeah, okay, yeah.
What about Resident Evil 4? I look, not having played Resident Evil 4, I'm a little bit indifferent to it, but I could understand the argument that that Resident Evil 4 would be above Like a Dragon.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're getting pretty close here. Yeah. I don't know, unless Char, what do you think about Chicory? Like, what do you think? Do you think it?
I think it probably is out of the list.
It is our indie game. It is our
It's a great indie game.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
think
actually,
it's an honorable mention, but like, what do
I
you
don't
think?
know. I
What do
think
you
it
think?
needs. I think it needs to sit at number 10.
You
Oh,
think maybe
yeah.
that's I'm kind of that's kind of what I'm
Can we
thinking as
swap
well.
the
You
to
want
be
you want to
honest.
knock out
See
Star
what
Wars
it-
Jedi Survivor?
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
where I'm
Jedi,
leaning.
I don't know. I feel like Jedi Survivor needs to be on here. I feel like
Refresh,
I
please.
can't forgive it though for the launch state of it.
yeah. Sorry, I've refreshed it now, so you can.
Yeah,
you can
yeah, I
see.
can see now.
Didn't they update the graphics in Jedi Survivor and make it worse, or they minimized something?
They
had
did
some
performance. So,
problem with
you know
that.
what? Actually, you know what? Like I love Jedi Survivor, but you are 100% correct. Actually, you know what?
How much of that is you being a fan of Star Wars though? In all honesty.
I mean, that is a big part of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way that they expanded that game.
See,
that's
I was excited for this, but then I have not started it
yeah.
for one of two reasons. One, I still haven't finished the first one.
Yeah.
And two, because of what the state it was in when it first launched.
Yeah.
Which is
And
a
I
big
haven't
reason
heard it
why.
being-
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like Chicory needs to be number 10 on this list. And I think it's a question of whether we have Jedi Survivor or Remnant 2 on here. I'm having a really good time with Remnant, but if I was playing it on my own, I don't think I would enjoy it that much.
But why would you play it on your own though? Like
I mean,
Remnant isn't the kind of game that you'll play on your own. You would get a group of friends together. Like we did this exact same thing for number 1. We waited most of the year for Brad because we wanted to have that experience.
But also
yeah.
Remnant 2 was also not in a good state when it launched as well. There were definitely issues when it launched.
Was it?
But I mean, technical and achievement wise.
Okay, yeah, I don't think there was. I can't remember any technical. I can understand the achievement.
Yeah, the achievement again, like not like Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
Like that was a whole thing, especially on PC.
Yeah, I mean, Jedi Survivor was a case of it being technical, whereas in Remnant would be the achievement.
Okay, so I've got to if it was a game of the generation, Tom Clancy's The Division, where you can solo play and then join friends and have a good time. Remnant 2, can you have an experience with Remnant 2 without waiting months for another person
You
and then
100%
actually
can.
coming to you?
You 100% can play through that game on your own.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that
it detracts from the experience. I reckon it is one of those games that is enjoyable. It's like playing Overcooked 2 by yourself. Yeah.
Sure,
It's
exactly.
still fun,
but I think that the more I examine that game and the more that we play it, the more I see the cracks in it in terms of the fact that this game only has 3 worlds. And yeah, there's 2 stories for each world, right? But they only have 3 environment. I mean, you have the labyrinth and you have the final world, which is kind of, those are kind of static.
Even going through the first time, we had 40, 50 hours of content.
No, not even close to that. We got through the game in about 20 hours.
I think.
I know because we have the timers on there. We smashed that game. That game again, because you only play half the game the first time you go through it, right?
Yeah.
Because there are 3 worlds and you get one version of each of them, and then you have to go back and do the other ones, which is this is that kind of game. It is a roguelite replay content over and over again. Fight the same enemies, the same bosses, and I think that's the one reason why I wouldn't put it on this list. Looking at
Would you say the Jedi Survivor's gameplay, just purely gameplay, is better than Remnant?
I would definitely say so. I think there's more interesting variety in the enemies and the combat. But also, I'm looking at our time for playing Remnant. We've played 30 hours of it so far.
Okay. I look, personally, to me, Remnant is a better game than Survivor. Even without playing it, I just know that I've had a better experience because it is a co-op versus a solo.
Yeah, sure. That's just the kind of game that it is.
I think the problem with Star Wars Jedi Survivor is I'm not going to cling to the narrative. I'm going to cling to the gameplay.
Sure, that's understandable. Yeah, I think the improvements they made to that. Because there there are elements in the gameplay that just aren't. Well, actually, no. This game has a fucking start. This game put a lightsaber broadsword in it. This game's staying on the list. But I think I'm gonna put it at number 10. I think is what's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna put.
This is 100% Star Wars fan gets what he wants, and I will call it out for what it is.
That's fair. That's fair. I think this is probably one of the best Star Wars experiences anyone's ever made. To be honest, it definitely has its issues, like both from a technical and both from like just it's an open world. It's an open world third person action game, so it definitely has a little bit of that. But I think that my biggest problem with Remnant is that it's surprisingly light on content for a game that's so replayable.
I disagree, but
I don't know.
I think it's just the aspect of like the only problem I have with Remnant is the size of the worlds. Like it feels like you're trekking like for way too long to get to the next point. But like the gunplay's solid, the stories are solid.
Story's okay. I mean, like, can you tell me what happened in that narrative at all?
Like which part? Like, I feel like
the overall story.
Okay.
Like
I feel like it's, and this is going to be a weird comparison, but like you know how Far Cry 5 has these segmented parts of like, because it is that segmented worlds, they're side stories, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. Is why I have problems with it.
Okay.
Is that it's like it's so gameplay first.
Yeah.
That everything else kind of falls away from it. And the gameplay is really fucking good. I'm having a great time running through this and like just being like, hey, we're just gonna run. We're like, yeah, we're doing the DLC now. It's like we're gonna have to run it a few times because there's one dungeon that we need that is randomly generated and we don't know if we're gonna get it every time we run it.
The RNG aspect's the negative aspect of it, but like I'm messaging you each day to be like, all right, you're here at the moment. Get on.
Yeah, let's do some Remnant. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I also mainlined the shit out of Jedi Survivor. Like I love that game. It's so fucking hard.
I look, you can put Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm just treating it as 9 and 9.2.
Yeah, that's understandable.
All right, have we got our list?
I'm going to give it to Remnant. Cool. But yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah.
You know what? If it hadn't launched in the state that it had.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? You're 100% right. If it was more sound and it didn't have the launch it did, I'd have more of a leg to stand on. But I think those are the things that did. Like,
how many nominations did it get at the Game Awards? It was only one, right?
I think it was just the one. Yeah.
Which was action adventure.
Yeah, I believe.
Which
so,
obviously would have Zelda. Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is our list. As much as it hurts me to lose some of my favorite games this year, our list is looking like in 10th place we have Chicory.
Yep.
In 9th we have Remnant 2. 8 we have Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. 7 we have Resident Evil 4. 6 we have Lies of P. 5 we have Dredge. 4 we have Space for the Unbound. 3 we have Baldur's Gate 3. 2 we have Cocoon, and 1 we have Alan Wake 2.
List.
How are we feeling? Any last minute objections, or are we?
I personally would swap Cocoon and Baldur's Gate 3, but the remainder of the list I'm pretty happy with.
I think if Baldur's Gate 3 had come out and we had more time with it,
if we got it earlier in the year, I would agree with that.
If that game had come out in August and we had fucking destroyed it and talked about it 5 times on the podcast, it might even be at number 1.
You know what though? You two would have played it, and that would have been it. I don't think me and
That's
you
true.
would get around to it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have played it. No,
point.
I'm still like I still don't even know if I'll play it. So,
All right. Well, I think that's our list, everyone. It only took us an hour and 45 minutes to get there, which is actually a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. We made some fucking brutal cuts on that list.
We did well. Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was tough, but we survived.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna just recover with some video games.
I just don't know about Jedi Survivors.
Yeah.
I'll try and fit it in at one point, and
I would like to play as many games on this list as possible now.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm gonna Space for the Unbound. I definitely need to do, and like a Dragon Gaiden, I'm 100% gonna do.
I'm gonna be so hurt if nobody agrees with Space for the Unbound, because I think it is a absolutely incredible story.
Yeah.
Okay, is that on Game Pass?
No, that's
No,
that's
okay.
probably the biggest thing. That's the biggest
This
barrier.
was a game that I first played the demo for when I went to PAX East because became good friends with Toge. Because Toge published it. And Space for the Unbound was received so well that they purchased Mojang, who were also known for When the Past Was Around.
Right, which again is really good game.
And there's a lot of references to When the Past Was Around in Space for the Unbound as well.
Quick question about this list.
Yes.
How many of them are actually on Game Pass?
That's a good question. Cocoon is
Liza
P and Like a Dragon Gaiden.
Like a Dragon Gaiden,
Chicory.
Remnant 2, and Chicory, so half the list.
So half of them on Game Pass, yeah.
That's not bad, actually.
But you look at the top of that list, and a lot of them, like Cocoon is the only one on the top half of that list.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All the other ones are to pay to play.
Yeah. Like I think I dredge
interesting one.
Space for the Unbound on Game Pass would be amazing. Like
Space
for the Unbound, I would kind of be like, you should purchase it and play it now because it's such a great game. But I mean, Coffee Talk ended up on Game Pass. When the past was around, was Games of Gold. It could.
Yeah, definitely could. I definitely see a good. And again, I feel like a lot of these are going to end up on Game Pass at some stage. I mean,
all right. Well, I copied that list. I'm definitely going to look at them. And Chicory's on Game Pass, so guess what's getting to play?
Yeah. Someone go through that and finish it and let me know.
I want to close this off with, what is the one game on that list that you recommend that everybody should play?
Cocoon. I think Alan Wake 2 is a better game, but I think if I want people to play something, I feel like Cocoon is a short, well-made puzzle game that is very clever.
You could pass this to your mum and she'd be able to
exactly. It's on Game Pass. I think it's super accessible, and it's one of those things like I've never felt smarter figuring out puzzles.
I think the great thing about Cocoon is that it because it's from one of the creators of Limbo. And going back to Limbo and playing that, you can clearly see when you're supposed to do something, it telegraphs it in a different way. You see a different thing, and then you're like, oh, this boss or whatever can be done because of this. So, and it just does so well to lead you into the puzzles that it's hard to miss the puzzle when you get to it.
Exactly.
So,
like the signposting for a game that has no dialogue, no written text, nothing. And it's all context.
And there are moments where it's like, oh, they did this with it, and then you're just happy. It's like glee.
There's one puzzle. There's one puzzle in particular that I was because I don't want to spoil it, but there was one part where I was like, I realized that there are some orb placement pedestals that I thought were just there to put them there, so they weren't in the way when you did the puzzle. And then I realized the fact that they were in the places that they were was actually integral to the puzzle. And when I figured it out, I was like, because I was bashing my head against it for like 10 minutes, being like, I don't get this. I feel like this is impossible. And once I figured it out, I was like, this is absolutely brilliant.
And once you get to the ending, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's an epiphany there of what the whole game's supposed to mean that blows you away. Like, it's not expected, but it's just amazing ending.
We didn't even really comment on the boss fights too.
Boss fights are fantastic. Yeah, they're really,
especially
really,
for a
really
puzzle game.
Yeah, for a puzzle game, like really well made, and also like they just throw a mechanic in there, and you just use it for that boss fight, and that's pretty much it. And I was like, I really appreciated the restraint that game had about not overusing its mechanics, and like the clear signposting, and also being like, hey, once you've done something and it's not part of the next puzzle, we just like shut that off. Like it's like, oh, the bridge just retracts, so you don't need to go, like you don't get mixed up, and it's like, oh no, the puzzle was here. You don't need to look in the wrong spot. Everything you need is here. I fucking love that game, so I would highly recommend everyone play that game.
Starting with the games that are on Game Pass, then, out of all of us haven't played at least one of those games, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we should be like, point a game out to somebody that should 100% be played, and then come back to it and talk about it.
What, on Game Pass?
Over at the start of the year, like the first episode back, it's like, oh, this was our top 10 list. This one game that you edging everyone towards playing or something like that should play at least. Game Pass means that you're not throwing any money at it as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Char, you haven't played Cocoon yet, have you?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I think that should be
That's on my list.
Yeah, definitely a good one.
Been sitting there waiting for me to do it.
I think I'm going to take like a Dragon Gaiden on that list. I think that's one of those ones that I've been sitting there and being like, looks really good, bit hesitant, but I think the fact that it ended up on the list means that I need to play.
Yeah,
I'm taking Chicory.
Yeah, I was thinking about Chicory as well.
Yeah, I mean, we can both do Chicory and talk about it, but yeah, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, because
see what you think, because I'm like halfway through, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of indie games I want to clean up.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing else on the Game Pass that you haven't played, is there, Cameron? Is there?
I mean, in general, no.
Yeah.
You've played everything on Game Pass.
Yeah. Yeah, but Chicory is probably like the one. Yeah. I'll download it.
There's a bunch of Game Pass games I need to catch up with. A whole bunch of indie games that came out this year that we'll talk about in the Game Pass editions.
Yeah. Well, I guess before we wrap up, if you want to quickly touch on some of your personal Game of the Year lists, feel free. I'm just going to quickly rattle off mine. So my top 5 are Alan Wake 2, Cocoon, Jedi Survivor, Armored Core, and Liza P.
Yeah.
But as you can probably see from my list, honorable mentions got to Dead Space, Resident Evil 4, Amnesia: The Bunker, which I wish more people had played. I think it's probably the best one of those they've made, and of course Ghost Trick. Everyone needs to go out and pick that game up. They need all the support possible. I love the Phoenix Wright devs. They can do no wrong in my heart. But that's me. Cameron?
I'll go next. Honorables, I had Hi-Fi Rush, The Wreck, and Liza P. Liza P I've just got to put more time into, but yeah. 10th, Crew Motorfest. 9th, Wolong. 8, Mirage. 7, Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. 6, RoboQuest. 5, Cocoon. 4, Remnant 2, 3, A Space for the Unbound, 2, Dredge, and 1, Alan Wake 2. So quite a few ones that made on the list,
Yeah. Char, what about you?
I'm only going to keep mine to a top 3, mainly because this year's been a bit shit and I haven't played much. Number 1, Baldur's Gate. I love that game. 2, Alan Wake 2. 3, Chicory.
Fantastic.
Cool.
And
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I only really played License P and Cocoon to completion. So I had Starfield on there. I looked through all of the 11 games that I played this year that came out this year or something, and Starfield was probably the closest thing that would go to the top. So Liza P was at the top for me because of how much I put into it. The problem with that is if I went on retention and me spending so much time playing Liza P, then Redfall would be up there as well because it's my second most played game, and that's at the opposite end of the list. So Liza P and Cocoon, and I'm just going to put honorable mention Final Fantasy 16 because it's not on Xbox, but and I didn't even play it all that much. I haven't played it, but
one of these days, they'll port it maybe. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's it.
Cool.
Well, I guess we'll do a little bit of our wrap-up stuff, considering it's the end of the year. So on our leaderboard, the Hall of Gamers leaderboard, in third place we have Mad Eye Pad Eye with 8,460. We have Mephisto for the win in second with 9,450. And we have a Grey Shark with 22,940, which is a huge week for him. So great job, guys. And we've also got some completions. Keo, do you want to read those out?
Yeah, Rapture did Dante's Inferno. Bulbasaur did Guru, Mark of the Wolves, and Apex Legend. Alpha D Pills did Quake. Dragframe did Forza Motorsport. Dish did GTA Series. The actual 100% completion, everything, including games for Windows 4 and blah, 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 everything. And Happy Moogles got 1 million TA score. So, Cavalier07 did Sims 4. The Moonzom did Control, and Firehawk did Opus Magnum.
Some guys, good work, guys. Well done. Well, that's kind of going to bring us towards the end of the show. Patreon.com/Hall of Gamers if you want to give us some cash. Huge thank you to Lee Howard, Mikhail KV, Natola Neda, Mad Lefty, Admiral Awesome, Happy Moogles, Kung Fu Skills, Akinpone, Cavaliers07, Old Mate Clown, Mark B, McLovin Legend, Marsage, Mace J, Left for Legacy, and McNulty. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. We literally could not afford to do the show without you. Zoom license is coming up in February. So I'm trying to save up a little bit for that. So thank you so much. Again, the fucking everything only gets more expensive. As always, we do this show live on Twitch. Xbox Hall of Gamers is a place to find us. Come hang out with us in our community and say hi in the chat. People like Zach and David and a few others. Bulbasaur earlier coming to say hi and interact with us. We greatly appreciate it. But otherwise, the Discord is a place to find us. We can send you out some invites for that. We love having our community on there. That's where we do our word challenge, which I'll have a new one in the new year. But also kind of if you want any updates around what's happening on the podcast or what we've been playing or completions or anything like that, that's the place to find us. And if you're in the Twitch chat now, you can get that Discord link right there. We used to have a nice one, but then they got hacked. So it's a really it's one
they
that I
got
could
hacked,
read out.
not us.
Yeah, they got hacked.
They
exactly.
got hacked.
They got hacked. So yeah, just otherwise message us and we can send you a link. We love having our community members, and it's a great place to hang out. And that's going to bring us to the end of the show and the end of the year, really. All right, does anyone have anything they want to shill? Kia, what about you? You got anything going on?
Yeah, I've been streaming a lot lately. You can see me VR cam and all that kind of stuff on my YouTube as I've been uploading videos of that at HGFG Play on YouTube. So that's an actual stream with the VR, with me and the gameplay on there as well. You can catch those streams at Twitch at Kia Live at Home. Twitter is at Kia Live at Home, and I have an Instagram now, which I'm posting some of the little creations and stuff like that I've kind of been getting back into as well. So, and that's Kia Live at Home as well.
We didn't even mention Instagram achievements, did we?
I'm sorry, what? No, I'm not. No, no, I'm not.
No, only if you pay for an account or whatever. No.
You gotta have
Is it Pro?
Yeah, need to have a business account.
Switch to Pro.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck that.
So I noticed it the other day when I was doing it. I was just like, "Are you kidding me?"
Oh Christ. Cameron, what about you?
I'm pretty much going to just try and complete some games that I've missed out on this year. See if Star Wars Jedi Survivor actually holds up.
Yep, nope, sounds good to me.
Backlog.
Char, what about you?
I do art and shit over at Instagram on the Char with many names. If you want to have a look, that's cool.
There's some great stuff.
Awesome. I might eventually sell the stickers. It's blurry.
If I can non-blur it.
Put it in
a little bit blurry.
Yeah,
there it is.
And
a little bit.
Amazing piece of a Char original.
I drew a capybara. Just FYI.
Hang on, I'm gonna unblur it just so you can see it. There you go. It's a beautiful Char original. Highly recommend it. If you're listening to the audio version, go and check out the video. It's amazing. I have it sitting on my desk here. I love it.
Now I'm distracted by the Eevee in the background.
There's a giant Eevee in the background as well. Yes. And for me, I'm Neomaster on everything as always. And just before we sign off, let's do a quick roundtable. What's a big milestone that you guys hit this year that you're super proud of? And what's something you want to aim for next year?
I might
be
a mil by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm like 10K off.
Oh.
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, easy.
That.
Yeah.
I could also just let it go into next year.
You could.
Age of Empires 2 completion. One of my favorite games of all time that I need to recomplete with the DLC that came out.
Yeah.
Such a fucking good game, though.
I'm actually going to go ahead and say thank you guys for taking me on this year with the podcast. It has really helped me out with a lot of stuff and helped me build up a little bit more too. So it's getting me back into a really good headspace. So I really appreciate that. So
no, it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been great to have you as part of the show, Kia. Char, what about you?
There's too many talking. I hit 200,000 this year.
True. Yeah, that was a fantastic. That's some great work.
And got up to 75% completion percentage. So I'm proud of that.
You're gonna hit 80% next year?
I'll try.
I believe.
I hit 76 and then I dropped because of Baldur's Gate, but I'm still at 75 point something.
It'll be really nice when we see Baldur's Gate completion in the next year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's a goal in itself.
At some point next year, yeah.
I just realized what I should have said. I traveled overseas twice.
Actually,
to two gaming events.
Two separate ones, yeah.
And got to meet some fucking awesome developers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. I mean, I've gone back and finished a lot of games that I never thought I was going to complete. You know, like
Yeah.
I've like my Limbos, my Cupheads, and Dante's Inferno and things like that. Things where I was like, hey, this is going to be the thing that this is where my skill ceiling is, and I'm never going to be able to get through this. And I've been sitting there for years, and it's been really, really inspiring to have you guys on the show and also the community and the support. That's just really helped me kind of keep my head into game, because sometimes it can get a little hard. You know, it's like life has been difficult for a lot of people recently. And sometimes it can feel like, you know, video games is one of those things that, you know, sometimes fall by the wayside, or you kind of don't find the energy to do. And so having the show here and the support of my hosts and the community has been absolutely fantastic. And I could not be more thankful. And with that mushy shit out of the way, we are going to wrap up episode 105 of the Xbox Hall of Gamers podcast. We will catch you guys next year. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
All right, peace out.
Yeah.